we're gonna try. I feel like singing. What's on my mind right now? Will I turn to the dark side of a villain? A veritable Bond villain. I turned to the dark side of a villain, a Bond villain. I'm thinking about Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. Seeing you on that screen. Tom Cruise, what you do to me? Risky business. This is a risky business talking about you, Tom Cruise. But the risk is the key to the business, Tom Cruise, this industry. Trying to make it in entertainment, you know what I'm saying? That's why I got nothing in my heart but love for you, Tom Cruise. I seen you in the Mission Kim Possibles. And I was like, damn, I want to be like Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. I seen you on the TV screaming. What you doing to me? You are mommy. Tom Cruise. What you doing to me? Tom Cruise is all I see. Mission Kim Possible. Tom Cruise making me croon. Tom Cruise, that's what I call this ode to you. Scientology. Tom Cruise. L. Ron Hubbard, baby, yeah. He was thick. Triple C. Xenu, baby. Shout out to my alien boys and girls. Like alien twerk for me. Tom Cruise, make an alien twerk for me. Tom Cruise got them alien digits. Tom Cruise got Xenu friends. Let me see a new batch of friends. Tom Cruise, you work in a lot of movies. A lot of movies that move me. Like the bright stuff through the football sports pole, Tom Cruise. And you shook up a bunch of drinks for Elizabeth Shue. Tom Cruise, what you do to me? Tom Cruise. How's that for a improv?
Got married to a Funko Pop. Oh, 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 oh. We got wedded conjoined in a Subway shop. Oh, 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 oh. I'm married to a Funko Pop. Oh, oh, oh. Vitamins and minerals, they come to me through a tube. My whole life is spent watching on a tube. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Funko, oh, 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 oh. We got wedding coitus in a Subway shop. Oh, oh. We got wedding coitus in a Subway shop. Oh, oh, oh. We got wedding coitus in a Subway shop. Oh, 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 oh. I got married to a Funko Pop. Oh, oh, oh. Ooh. We got wedded conjoined in a Subway shop. Oh,
vitamins and minerals, they come to me through a tube. My whole life is spent watching on the tube. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Funko, oh, 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 oh. We got red and gold toy just in a subway shop. Oh, oh, oh. Ooh, oh, oh. We got wedding photos in a subway shop. Oh, oh, oh. Ooh.
Funko, Funko, oh, oh, ooh, oh. Funko, Funko, oh, oh, ooh, oh. I got married to a Funko Pop. Ooh, oh. We got wedded, conjoined in a subway shop. Ooh, oh. I am married to my Funko Pop. Ooh, oh. We got joined, coitus in a subway shop. Ooh, oh. Vitamins and biscuits and minerals, they come to me through a tube. My whole life is spent watching on a tube. Whoa-oh. Whoa-oh, oh, oh, whoa. I'm married to a Funko Pop. Whoa. We got wedded, we got joined in a subway shop. Whoa. Vitamins and minerals, they come to me through a tube. Vitamins and minerals, they come from me through this here tube. Whoa. Funko, 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 I got married to my Funko Pop. Whoa. We got wedded, we got joined in a subway shop. Whoa. Love at first sight, love at first sight. What shall I do with love at first sight? Put it in my hand, throw it on the ground. Who knows?
You've been through a lot with
I
this.
do.
We got wedded, conjoined in a subway shop. Whoa.
Quasimodo, Quasimodo. Got lots of bitches calling me on my mobile. Quasimodo, I Got a natural flesh patch right there for my mobile. I live a life Quasimodo. My bitches be calling me Master Modo. You don't even understand this flow though. When I get older, will I still have an effed up shoulder? Quasimodo. High school kids making fun of me and call me Play-Doh. On this back part right here, just this part is Play-Doh. Quasimodo. I'm up in my castle. It's very dank.
I found her, humpback chick, she was stank on it. Quasimodo, looking for a Quasimodo. Quasimodo, you don't even know what it's like with a little bitty friend on your back like this right here. I got a little brother on my shoulder. Quasimodo, I just bought a weird modified Lambo so that I can drive in a weird way inside a modified
Lambo. Whoa, whoa.
You don't even understand.
What's up? All my ziggas, what's up? Hey, it's just clowning tonight, man. We're gonna be talking about some news because all of y'all dum-dums don't want to talk about real ish. Y'all just want to talk about the news. What's in the news? Ooh, gotta read the papers. Gotta read the New York Times. Gotta read the front page of Twitter. Everybody wants to be low tier, bringing a tear to my eye that gets low as I cry, while y'all brain gets TikTok fry. Don't even try to comply with my CIA. What's the play? All I know is all y'all mother is gay. Damn, son. That's just freestyle. Freestyle. Meaning you didn't have to pay for that ear lay. That's right. Your ear just got laid by what I said. Listen, it's all night slam poetry tonight. I'm going to throw the wine moms a curveball. I'm going to throw the wine moms a ball. A player's ball. And we're going to get that swerve at the ball. Get it? It's a slam poetry night tonight, son. Just spitting bars. What's on y'all's mind tonight? We got to talk about Trump and Elon. Ooh, a fight. Ooh, that's all we got. That's all that's going on. There's nothing else we're talking about. Trump and Elon. Trump and Elon. What about my camera? What about this new ass camera that I got that makes me look like a damn sexy cop from 1984 right here with this mustache? I look like an undercover Alabama cop going undercover in the bar to catch me some boss hogs up to no good, to catch me some Roscoe Peak trains. That's what I'm dressed as. Sexy cop. You're under arrest for being under a 7. You're under arrest for being a 9. Oh, wait, I'm going to let you go. Because I'm sexy cop. Pew. You're under arrest for being overdressed. Anyway, welcome everybody. Tonight's a chill stream. Tonight's an ill dream. Tonight's I'm popping off that ear ice cream. It's slam poetry night. All y'all wine moms thought, he ain't gonna never let me in. Got your cup over there full of damn Purplesaurus Rex and Chardonnay out the box. He ain't gonna never let me on do my slam poetry. Guess what? Tonight's the night. Except yo ass ain't allowed on. That's only me. It's my slam poetry night. Y'all already got a taste. Now, why are we talking about Trump when I got a new ass camera? Why are we talking about Elon Musk? Let's talk about Elon. Let's talk about the thing the entire world is talking about. Why don't we talk about the Bitcoin standard? To get y'all out of brokedom. Hey, I'm over here in brokedom, dog. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. For real, you love. That's why you eat McDonald's. I'm loving it in brokedom. Why are you in brokedom? Because you want to talk about Elon and Trump all day. You don't want to learn how to get paid, son. So today, I'm the hot cop. I smell broke ass people. I smell some broke ass some bitches out there on the internet tonight watching me. That's why there's only $12 of super chats. By the way, I got to read the super chats from a couple nights ago because I forgot and I was getting tired as hell. Y'all know I'm on one tonight. I'm in a mood tonight, son. I'm feeling silly as hell and you can't stop me. There ain't shit you can do about it, son. When I'm feeling silly off the cuff, I'm about to put some of them sexy hot cop cuffs on that cuff. You know, never mind. I was going somewhere with cuff, but it just didn't work. Where y'all broke boys at? Give me all your money. Super chats right now. My Canadian loonies and toonies are going to the fiat moon. I don't understand why there's hyperinflation with all of my Skittles socialist presidents and rulers. How I can't understand why they're ruining the currency. Ooh. You got Officer Hot Cop ready to arrest your dumb ass right now. It ain't that hard. It ain't that hard to get rich, son. If a dummy like me could do it, you could do it, stupid. How am I gonna get rich? You said to me, Jay, how am I gonna get rich? Number one, get a Sony camera like I got. Why are we not talking about my camera? Dude, I look fly as hell now with this camera. You can see all my AIDS bumps right up here. You can see my STD syphilis bumps over here. You can see over here on this side, I got a little bit of COVID stains right there. Over here, if you look on that, put it into 4K, got a little bit of a hickey right there. Got a little bit of a hickey. What's up, man? Welcome, everybody. If you would, hit like and share. I'm here to arrest all of your stupid ideas, put you in idea jail. Because a lot of y'all are dumb, and I'm mad about it. Now, not everybody in my audience, right? We got a smart as hell audience over here. But a lot of the audience in general that I just learned today, they're dumb as hell. Did you know it's dumb as hell out there? You trying to survive? Life is hard? It's dumb as hell out there. It's not that life is hard. It's just life is dumb as hell. That's what it is. You're all stuck on it being hard. No. You're overthinking it, son. You're overthinking. Now, I bought this nice-ass camera, and, of course, the internet ain't never going to work right, even though 10 years older, boy, I look sweet 16, son. What are you talking about looking 10 years older? You got the wrong contacts in, idiot. I look beautiful as hell right now. Look at this. Watch this. Watch this. Look at those Aryan wolf blue eyes. Saying I look old. Get out of here. Get out of here. Anyway, it is kind of bright in here in this new fancy studio that I got set up in here. What are we going to talk about today? Well, let's read these old super chats first. It doesn't matter how many times I call internet people, they don't fix anything. It just never gets any better. So I don't know what to do. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Make love to frickin' Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know what's going to fix the internet. Turn gay for Mark Zuckerberg is the only way to get out of this nightmare. You're looking like drunk Doctor Strange. Damn, son. This chat is on. This chat is on fire. This girl is on fire. Who is that? Is that Katie Badongadong? What's her name? Katy Perry? Is that Rihanna? I don't even know who it is. It's not my PC, dude. It always says YouTube does not receive enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I've tried everything. Maybe I should try messing with the bit rate again. I don't know, dude. It's just, it never... I don't think it's my problem because half of the time I do streams, it'll go back to normal. It'll be excellent, smooth for about half the stream, and then it drops, and then it comes back. So I think that's an issue for the internet people. We ain't gonna be talking about no internet. We're not talking about Eddie. We're not talking about none of that heavy metal nonsense. None of that death metal. It's Halloween. Hell no. There's only going to be one party Halloween worth going to, and it's the one where I performed live before Riff Raff. That's the only party that is worth going to. I'm going to tell you about it as it approaches. Gainerzilla says for $2. We see all your wrinkles when you get mad. I guess I'm going to have to just be sexy then. Not get mad no more. I'm going to replace every bit of mad with just sexy. Just hot. Just hot. Damn. He's hot. How did he do it? I'm going to teach all you broke boys out here smelling broke as hell. Smelling like McDonald's. I'm loving it. I'm going to teach you how to make money tonight. We're going to get y'all paid. There's too many brokies, too many nerds in the audience. Let's catch up on these super chats I missed. B. Ryan, $10. Here is for you this HD camera. Newly baptized. Thanks for your videos. Do you mean the camera newly baptized, or are you talking about yourself? Boom, you just got zinged. Oh, killer joke. Christos, $10. I'm Orthodox. I'm planning to visit a church. How do I explain fasting to my friend and family without sounding legalistic? Well, if your family's visiting, if you're taking them to church, you don't have to immediately start explaining fasting and all this stuff. Just let them ease into it. You know what I mean? Treat it like a cult. Ease them into it like a Mormon or a Scientologist. Don't immediately go to the aliens, bro. You got to ease them into, oh, we're friends, man. We friends. We BFF. Oh, we love you. Love bomb them. And then ease them into the crazy aliens. Oh, you got to fast because the aliens will get you if you don't fast. H. Brazzi, $10. The point, this was from yesterday's Super Chats, was that It is apparent to me that pretending as if dookie is somehow a proper use versus the common word shit, then they're referring to the exact same thing, but that's nonsense. Fair play, son. Orthodoxy Zatar, $5. Can you share your thoughts on the Catholic understanding of distributism, many Orthodox imperial orbs to you? Again, I don't... That's too much, man. It's too involved of a bunch of critiquing a bunch of nerdy nonsense that I'm just not in the mood for tonight. I think there's some elements of sobernost which would be compatible with distributism. Iconomat, $5. I had a charismatic co-worker tell me that I needed to come to church and get some spiritual some spiritual diesel for my spiritual BO. I'm packing around. Oh, spiritual deodorant for my spiritual BO. Just go up to him and go like this. Go. You smell poor as hell, dude. That's all you got to do. I want you to walk up to your dumb Pentecostal coworker, sniff at him for a moment, say, you smell poor as hell, dude, and then just walk off. It'll blow his mind. H. Brazzi, $5. No, we read that one last time. Excuse me. We read that one last time. I got to make sure I didn't miss some of these last time. Great stream, EA, $5. You know what's even better? Put Seventh-day Adventists in the title. You got, man, this dude is just obsessed with finding somebody to refute one of the dumbest cults out there, man. Look, man, I got it. Speaking of, look what came in the mail today. Already found some classic hits in this bad boy right here. This puppy, this bad boy, as Theo Vaughn would say. This is a classic. Bruce McConkie. If you got a last name like McConkie, you might as well be a Mormon, because you're already out of the race, son. You're already retired. Why don't you just get your friend to call in the next time I do a debate? How's that? Get your SDA friends to call in. That way I don't have to do a stream addressing every cult that exists. Shepherder 911, $10. Thank you for your informative history lesson. This was the last half of the previous stream on Ralph Child. All-Type or Ryan Last had a good video on Eternal Anglo. Jay's new cringe fishing shirt, $1. Listen, son, this is a designer shirt from a cool store in Hot Springs, Arkansas. This is not a hand-me-down. It is not a thrift store shirt. It's not a fishing shirt. It's a damn male model shirt. Chew on that. People want your pay piggies out there. That's why I'm dressing with designer sass and flair. Zal Mox is $5. I came for theology. However, I stayed for theology, conspiracies, Funko Pops, catchphrases like unmute. Dude, I can't wait for Jay's Analysis Greatest Hits album to drop one day. First, I got to open up for Riff Raff, accomplishing all of my dreams on my bucket list, huh? One by one. Bucket list canceled. Bucket list thrown out. Complete. Ayo, $5. I'm about to get a bigger bucket and a new life. Ayo, $5. Can you be a Judaizer and be baptized into the church? I'm asking because Rizban is getting baptized next week. What are your thoughts? Well, I was counseled to be patient and to be conciliatory and friendly, so that's what I did. And let's be as patient as we can and hope people come around to our way of seeing things. Scuba Bear, $10. Buy the dip. Yes, exactly. Bitcoin dipped again for you dum-dums. I'll smell a lot of poverty in the chat. A lot of people want to stay poor.
I'm going to come to convince Jay Dyer that Bitcoin is a scam. By the way, look how broke I am, and I'm proud of it.
Zup Rider became a member. B. Ryan, $5. Joseph and Cleavage to Antiquity are alive together. Really recognize real that they are reliable. dog. Okay, I don't care, dog. Dirty. It's like why do you think I care that people with a couple 1,000 subscriber or 2,000 subscriber channels are live? Oh, they're live. We gotta go tell Jay. Dirty Dan, $2. Thank you for all that you do. I love your content. Well, thank you, Dirty Dan, and thanks for doing me dirty by sending $2. I guess I'll go. I can't even get anything from the dollar menu. I'm loving it. I smell poverty in the chat, son. Zelmox is $5. Oh, we already read that. Contemporary Compendium. Shout out to a good clips channel. Contemporary Compendium says, "Preach it, Daddy Dyer. No homo." Marcus. I'm about to say Marcus Aurelius, a.k.a. Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe. He says for $5, "Who is this hot cop? Why is he extorting me?" Exactly. That's the kind of questions I want you asking. You're all worried about, well, Elon Musk are having Twitter drama. Ooh. Learn from the hot cop, son. Get paid and get morally appropriately laid. How's that? Orthotokos became we gifted 20 memberships. Excuse me. Damn, son. Welcome, everybody. Meta buys $5. As a Turkish man, the Trump-Elon feud has given me nostalgia for Turkish political shenanigans. Shit, dude, I don't know nothing about none of that right there. I know about Turkish intelligence. I'll go into the Grey Wolves and Ali Agca and Gladio. I don't know nothing about no Turkish political shenanigans, son. Shepherd, $5. Your camera is great, son. Here's some cash to get through that shift at the hot cop station. Thank you. You could put those dollars in my drawers. Because you know what a hot cop is. Zach, 30 A's. Ursher, lock up them doors. Yeah, exactly. You ain't getting out of here until you super chat, dummies. Ushers, lock the doors. Ain't none of these people getting in here until I get 40,000 in the collection plate. I want a half a Bitcoin in that collection plate right now, son. Y'all ain't leaving this church. Mud became a member for 3 months. Just named Mud. By the way, Mud backwards is dumb. Oh, we got some angry people in the chat. They don't like this. Jesus told us to be humble. This man is flexing his possessions. Goodbye. I'm trying to help dummies like you. HFSP, son. Shoreline skirt, $20. Quasimodo. You don't even understand this flodo. Meta Baz, $10. You should get somebody like Chris Lynch with dyslexia to read all the super chats. He does it super slow. Like how Nick Rochefort does with Chris. It adds a lot of value. Okay, y'all want me reading super chats really slow with it like a dyslexia man? More like dyslexia. That's what I got going on right here. A lot of y'all's sex vision is inverted because you look at me and you don't understand. You got dyslexia, meaning that it's all inverted. You like fat chicks. You like dum-dums. I'm trying to clear up your vision. Show you what real masculinity is. Real toxic masculinity. Jourdain, $10. Anybody else not getting a member option? I don't know what that means. Let's see. We come over here. Membership tab right here. You can join, I think, anywhere on here. I don't know. Right? Can't you? Membership tab. But see, I'm always logged in, so I don't know what it looks like to y'all. Christopher, $2. Here we go with all this stuff again. Is Elon an op? I don't know. Man, I'm so tired of that question. Do you know how many times in the last 8 years on podcasts I've heard, do you think Trump's controlled opposition? Is Elon controlled opposition? I'm just going to start coming up with just insane nonsense answers to this question because I'm so sick of it. I'm just going to start saying, Elon is mind controlled by Hasidic rabbis and Trump is an AI that Elon controls. How's that? Just gonna say that. DJ $5. Jay, was it you that showed me a movie that was like Indian James Bond, but it was a bad long title, like MR7 or something like that? I don't know about that. Could be. Sometimes I share memes of, like Thai movie posters that are weird and misunderstood. That's kind of funny. Derp Eyes $5. I want that shirt. I want that. Jordan Lofgren became a member. Common Sense $5. I guess Andrew didn't get that memo. Well, Andrew debated Ridvan before I had beef with Ridvan. So why would Andrew get a memo to not have beef when Ridvan decided to debate? EA $10. I don't have Seventh-day Adventist friends. More so, expose one of the low-key cults that is fairly relevant and not critiqued as much as it should be. But again, guys, it's what we told you with the FDA. It's like all the other arguments about the canon, all that that's all going to refute the same. It's going to do the same thing. All cults have the same stuff, but you're just saying put it in the title. Okay, I'll think about it. Christopher Scott, $10. I'm a little bit of a brokey, but I got some money for you. Guys, I don't understand. I'm trying to help you out. And I make jokes, and idiot evangelicals try to get all pious. This man brags about his assets. You realize everything I bragged about was a joke? I've got a golden set of testicles in my bathroom boudoir. I've got a golden set of testicles I had made in my boudoir. None of you have it. I'm better than you. How's that? Does that make you feel better? That doesn't exist, by the way. That's fake, dummy. Harry Soprano's $5. The U.S. deficits are out of control. In fact, that's what I was going to talk about today, was U.S. debt. Why are we talking about that? Because it can't be beat. U.S. debt is the best, baby. It's to the moon. You want to go to the moon? Fly me to the moon. You want to go to the moon with all the crooners, the boomer crooners? Well, guess what? Hop on that debt train, hop on the Fiat, and it's going to the moon. It's already at the moon. It can't be beat. That's what I'm talking about right here. Fighting over the forecast is meaningless. 10-year projections. Financial models extrapolate linearly based on simple assumptions. They can't anticipate or predict discontinuities. The two most substantial events in 25 years were the global financial crisis and COOF. The first one added $7 trillion in debt. The second, $10 trillion in debt in 5 years. Look at that. This means that $17 trillion, half of the U.S. debt of $37 trillion, is literally just in the last couple decades. For better or for worse, our present situation in a debt crisis is shaped by those two events. Why am I bringing this up? Because about a month ago, I made a comment on Twitter, and all of the know-it-alls came out of the woodwork. Actually, to tell me that they've got it all figured out and that Doge was going to solve the problems. And I said, Doge can't solve the problems. What? How come you hate Trump? Why you hate Trump? Why you hate Elon? Ugh. You can't fix the problem cutting debt when you have a money printer, as I said, endlessly. And same situation with that I was thinking about with AP and David Wood and all that. And it's like, okay, so we had a great conversation, right? We had a great conversation about history of the Middle East and geopolitics and this and that. And I went back and I was looking at Tragedy and Hope yesterday, and I was thinking, and I'm not knocking them because nobody reads Tragedy and Hope. Literally, as far as I know, I'm the only person that actually read the whole book. Okay. Now, why am I talking about that? Because people don't know what the book's actually about. What's the first several chapters actually talking about? It's about the demise of the old system of money, international relations, old geopolitics, old European order, the systems of what Quigley calls authority, and the replacing of authority with Homo economicus, economic man. Thus, democratic capitalism is the hope for the world after World War I and II, and then the Cold War. He wrote the book in the midst of the Cold War. So why do I say all that? Well, the first couple hundred pages is about the bankers. Now, at one point in our discussion, and I opted not to go into it just because it wasn't worth getting into a big fight, given the fact that we'd had, 4 hours worth of good discussion. Somebody brought up in a super chat or something, bankers and banking elite. And I'm thinking, okay, you wanted to debate and argue over the Middle East, but you hadn't read the history that's necessary in terms of the British Empire. That's what sets the stage for the entire modern world today. You can't even understand the Middle East without Sykes-Picot, and that's after the demise of the Ottoman Empire, the British and the French dividing up the Middle East. That's where they create countries just wholesale out of thin air. Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Iraq. Those are all British imperial creations. Anyway, but then it hit me, well, what's missed in all this is who cares about dum-dums and talking heads debating on the internet? Who cares what I think about geopolitics? Who cares what you think? Who cares what Ridvan thinks? Who cares what David Wood thinks? What is that actually doing? Well, I mean, in a sense, it's exchanging ideas and you're, sharpening your swords, etc. Is it really doing anything? Is it really helping people? Maybe. But I started thinking, how many people are actually going to reading these texts? Pretty much nobody. So a lot of these debates, a lot of the internet stuff that's going on is ultimately going to be literally just optics of who the audience thinks was more convincing or nicer or whatever stupid shit that they think makes somebody better in an argument, right? Now, there's a lot of people who are rational, a lot of dudes that are high IQ and rational, and they're going to make the decision based on the actual arguments. But the majority of the audience isn't. And this isn't to knock AP and David Wood's audience. That's not the point. I'm getting to a bigger overall point. You'll see what it is in just a second. So the more I thought about this, I had a conversation with Andrew about our appearance on Piers Morgan too, right? So that happened, and then I did that stream about the Wood AP stream. And Andrew and I were talking about how the debate went, and Andrew made a point, like, nobody in the Piers Morgan audience is going to know anything about the basic philosophical issues. And that's true. Because at one point, me and Danny, the soy Gatheist man, he argued that you can get an ought from an is, and then I said, no, you can't. And I asked him about the is-ought question, and he didn't know what it was. And I realized, like, even the people who think that they know philosophy, who are chosen to be on this show, don't know anything. And philosophy only touches the masses when it's something to do with ethics. If you can show in a debate someone's ethical contradiction, you'll get a larger, reaction, and you will reach the audience. If it's metaphysics and logic and epistemology, nobody gets that shit. Okay, like 5% of the audience will understand even what you're talking about. And so even with really intelligent people, and I think AP and David Wood are very intelligent people, but it's not a question of intelligence or capabilities or IQ. If you haven't done the reading, you're not going to know what the hell I'm talking about or why the hell I think this and that. And it doesn't, like, I'm not saying you're a bad person if you didn't read these books or whatever. Oh, I'm better than you because I read the books. No, here's the point. The point is, some years ago, somebody made a point to me, and they said, if you really were learning things from all this stuff you claim to read, then you would put that to use put that information to use and you would make money from it. Interesting. I thought that's actually a really interesting point. Wouldn't it be sensible to use the knowledge that I have for that purpose? Of course. That's part of how we make a living. Now, I'm not saying that just because you have money, it demonstrates that you are intelligent or that you used your knowledge wisely. No. You, of course, can be not virtuous. You can be dominated by vices and become wealthy. Sure. But I also realize that at the same time, even if you have wealth, that is a gift, right? It's a gift that came to you, hopefully, through virtuous actions. And if you read the Proverbs, many of the Proverbs speak that way. Now, of course, our whole life as Christians and all that is it's not primarily to be directed at that. The ultimate good, of course, is God. And so any of those things can become idols. But you can also make an idol out of your piety or your proud poverty status. That can also become an idol. In fact, it's even worse if you make that into an idol, because now you think you're better than everyone else and you're more spiritual merely because you're poor or you're in poverty or something like that. You might be in that situation because of your poor choices, and then you cloak it in piety. That's even worse than a wealthy man who is pious. So a lot of people, and especially young dudes, they will use religion and piety to cloak laziness, sloth, inaction, and bad choices. And it's not ultimately our job to judge those things, because in the end, God ultimately knows people's hearts. But a lot of young guys, and I've seen this, for example, with guys who are considering monastic life. It's not a bad thing to consider monastic life. That's what you feel called to, and you take the time to see if that's what you're called to. But sometimes that is an excuse for irresponsibility. People think, oh, I won't have to do hard work. I won't have to do whatever, find a job, find a wife, all this kind of stuff. I'll just choose this route of being a monk, and it makes me more spiritual. I get to be pious over everyone else and pretend that I'm, following Jesus better than everyone else because I'm walking around without shoes and I just converted to Orthodoxy or whatever. And it's like, none of that is really what should be the first steps. So people will focus on externals and things like that, and that becomes a way for them to feel more pious and better than everyone else. But in reality, it's immaturity. They're not actually virtuous. They haven't actually accomplished anything. But it's a very easy route to make yourself feel like you're more advanced or that you are better than other people. That's for some of the domain of young guys obsessed with theology. If I could go back and tell myself stuff in my 20s, I would say stuff like that. Like, you've got too much emphasis on all of this heady stuff. Your practical life is way out of whack, right? You're not focusing on how to get situated to be married and to have, family, etc. And let's be honest, that's most of us. Most of us are not going to become monks. And you should really give it a long time if that's what you are considering, monastic life or whatever. All right. Anyway, aside from all that, separate issue. If you're in the world, then you're going to need to learn how to make money and provide for your family. And if you're acting like you're too pious, then this is not for you. You're immature. Because that's part of the world, whether you like it or not. And when the scriptures talk about this stuff, when Proverbs talks about it, it's not saying that these things are bad. Money is not the problem. The love of money is the problem. You understand, any created thing can be an idol. You can make an idol out of your own piety, yourself, your past, your memories, your obsessions, your collections, money, lust. Any of those things can be idols. And every one of us has some form of that idolatry that causes us, or that leads us into vice, that as you grow older, you will learn all of us are struggling with and trying to overcome vices. Some vices are way worse, yes. So I'm not saying, oh, no, everybody's sinners, so we have to accept everybody. That was what the atheists were arguing. No, a mass murdering serial killer is not equivalent to a person who forgot to pray last night. Those are vastly different sins. Way worse. Anyway, what am I getting to? This whole point of this ramble rant is that you need, I'm trying to think of how to word this. Although monetary success is not the ultimate good, it is a good. So let's start with that. Because a lot of people think it's not. Well, if it's not, then why is there so much in the scripture that deals with money, fair and weighted balances, fair exchange, the morals and ethics of economic exchange? That's all through the parables. It's all through Proverbs. So first of all, it's ignorance about our religion to begin with. If you think that somehow, oh, I'm too spiritual for that stuff. Oh, guess what? Have you ever talked to or listened to priests and bishops, what they talk about? Guess what they talk about a lot? Finances. Do you know what monasteries do? You think monks are super spiritual? You know what monasteries do? They make products and make profits. Did you know that? Some of them make a lot of money. So you are acting like you're pious beyond anyone else, including all the monks and bishops and priests, all of whom care quite a bit about money, if you didn't know that. In fact, I would be willing to bet many of the monks and bishops are probably idolatrous over money. So, in any priest who's had any period of time in that world dealing with that stuff knows that money does matter. Who do you think provides the churches? People who make money and donate to the church. You idiots. Do you think that everything in the church operates under charity? That's stupid. It's idiotic. You have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, point being, I would argue that whoever said that to me, I don't remember who, it was actually a really good point. If you had all of this inside knowledge, and by inside knowledge, I don't mean like government secrets. I'm talking about book knowledge that's public, right? Oh, he's read all these CIA books, he claims. Why is he broke living in his mom's basement? Actually, that's a fair question. Why wouldn't I put all of this knowledge to use? I'm not just talking about live streaming and acting like an idiot on the internet. I'm making a different point about the practical attitude and challenge that someone issued, which was that I have spent a lot of time reading books. And what did I get from that? Well, I got personal knowledge, but okay, what do you do with that? The older that I got, out of my 20s and 30s, I wanted to put that knowledge to work. Because nobody cares that you have abstract head knowledge. Nobody gives a shit. Just you. And as you get older, when all of your friends begin to marry and have children, and have families and work jobs, your buddies and your gamer buddies and your people that you hang out with at the bar, that all goes away. That doesn't happen anymore. So nobody cares what books you read. Nobody cares what inside facts you read about the Taliban and the CIA. And nobody cares about that. But this world does work on the principle of economics, whether you like it or not. And as Proverbs says, the borrower is servant to the lender. So debt living is slavery in its most basic form. Thus, you see the massive explosion of debt that our country has faced pretty consistently. Here, talking about the housing crisis in 2008, But you can go back even further to where the money was completely decoupled from any hard asset, the Nixon shock doctrine, to create a fiat standard. So that means that previously we were based on gold. The gold standard went away. Now we are based on just simply the good faith and credit of the Federal Reserve and the belief in the dollar. But as you can see, the debt is related directly to the money printing. So the Federal Reserve prints this debt, this money, prints more currency. That's how we get the trillions and trillions of dollars of debt. That's why, as somebody was remarking on a Bitcoin video today, I don't go to McDonald's, but supposedly hash browns are like $4 now. And they used to be like on the dollar menu. So that's like a 4x. Okay. Is it just because hash browns are like awesome and McDonald's decided they could charge $4 for awesome hash browns? No, it's all garbage. It's trash food. But the purchasing power of the dollar dies the more that they create and print dollars, creating and indebting the country even more. Every time they do this, the quantitative easing, the money printing, the more the dollar loses purchasing power. And it can never stop, no matter how much excess spending Doge cuts. Doge cut $100 million. That's nothing compared to that. It's a drop in the bucket. Until the Federal Reserve ends, this continues. And this, by the laws of mathematics and physics and thermodynamics, this dies. This is a energy system that leaks energy. It's not self-contained. This leaks all of the energy out until it goes to zero. Until eventually the loaf of bread is $100 and $1,000, etc. And what was it, a week or two ago, they just passed another bill raising the debt ceiling. But there is no debt ceiling, you see. There's always more debt. Let me show you this point here. This crypto dude made this point here.
Letters to U.S. citizens.
So I'm not going to play this whole video, just the section on debt. And he makes this same point.
Should be entirely scrapped to prevent an economic catastrophe. So, stop for a second. Look at this chart that I'm showing you right now. Does this look like there's a debt ceiling or a debt limit? Use your...
So they always talk about raising the debt ceiling. There is no debt ceiling. That's the point. And this chart goes back further than the zero hedge chart. Can you believe in 1994, in the 90s, there was only like $5 or $6 trillion of debt? I mean, that alone is like insane. But did you know that a country doesn't actually have to be massively in debt? Who are we in debt to? The private central banking elite. That's what Tragedy and Hope is ultimately about. It's not about, did the CIA have an involvement with this group or that group? It's not about the oligarchical. I mean, yeah, it's about all that in part because it comes up in the book. But people want like practical on the ground usage of this knowledge. And how does this help me? How's this going to help me? What's the point? Here is the result of the world that Quigley says the banking elite set up. A world where everyone is enslaved, the borrower is servant to the lender, through infinity debt.
Brains, guys, come on. I'm here to kind of shake you out. All right, this is going to happen regardless. It doesn't matter. It's all theater. Everything Musk says, Musk, Trump, Biden, Clintons, Bushes, whatever. It doesn't matter who they are. They are all part of the club and they're not your friend. And this is just proof to you guys. Come on. The central banks are going to be inflating your currency to oblivion. And that is why they're coming out with central bank digital currencies in the form of stablecoins. You heard it here first, or hopefully somebody else. It's good to actually hear.
Now, exactly how this is going to shake out, we don't know, because it is true that Trump at least said, there will never be a central bank digital currency. Not on my watch. Bitcoin, never sell your Bitcoin. All the Bitcoin people out there probably going to the moon, as they say. Bitcoin going to the moon. Don't sell your Bitcoin. Probably. Right? But what happens after Trump? What happens when we get the next administration? It is time for the central bank digital currency and blah, 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 blah. So it's very likely that this scam will come back. They will push some attempt at a CBDC. Now, for those that don't know, Bitcoin is not a CBDC. It is decentralized. It is run on the thousands of decentralized nodes that exist throughout the world. 10,000 plus. We don't even know. That is not a central bank digital currency. There's no centralized, Brian Armstrong or Brad Garlinghouse or whoever that is the CEO of the other currencies. Anyway, so don't be the dum-dum who, yeah, but Bitcoin is a tracked and traced central digital currency that's inflatable. No, it's not.
Hear other people talking about this, not just me. Okay, so moving on, we also have Elon Musk calls for lobbying against spending bill. He says, call your senator, call your congressman. Bankrupting America is not okay. Kill the bill. So I wrote underneath him, Sir Crypto Tips, if you want to follow me there. If a mere phone call was all that Americans needed to stop the currency printer, the Federal Reserve would not have survived since 2013.
Now, why did everybody get so fussy with me on Twitter some months ago when I said Doge cannot fix the economic problems? Now, it's great that they exposed USAID, which was a front, which was a money laundering operation. All that's pretty obvious. That's all good. But the problem isn't corrupt cover organizations like USAID. The problem is not too much spending. That is an effect, not the cause. The source and the cause is people having a money printer that can inflate the currency. That's the problem. And it's not a government entity. It's a private Federal Reserve bank. As Quigley says, as is the point of the first 200 to 300 pages of Tragedy and Hope. You notice when people talk about Tragedy and Hope, because they haven't actually read it, they don't actually know what's in it. They just say, Dyer thinks this book matters, and he's never read World War II Tiny Mustache Man's true historian, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, don't you understand that this book argues that Tiny Mustache Man was propped up by the banking elite? And no wars are fought without money. Who funds wars? Did you not know wars are funded? We're talking about modern wars. I'm talking about ancient Viking fantasies that these LARPers have in their head. Point being is, wait a minute. If you know-it-alls know it all, then you should be very financially well off. You should be successful. Because anyone who knows it all would know how to put the knowledge to good use to put themselves in a financially stable or successful situation. I'm not saying that if you're rich, you're smart. But many wealthy people are smart. They are intelligent. There is a direct correlation between high IQ and success and competence and doing well and making money. That's been proven. I've read a lot on IQ over the years. Several books, quite a bit. And that's pretty well known, pretty well understood. Hence why very low IQ societies are dumps. Just a fact. That's racist. I'm sorry if that's a fact. Like, I don't know what to tell you. There's a direct correlation between these things. It does not mean that every person who's high IQ is virtuous. These are just general case studies of in normal, controlled situations, people who have high to super high IQ, on average, do well economically and in life. They flourish. That doesn't mean, yes, there are outlier savants who are so intelligent that they're too eccentric and spurgy to get along with people and they're not successful. I'm aware of all that. I know about all that. I know that there's people who, are outliers and there's exceptions and there's the evil genius, but that's not the average. That's not the majority. Okay. So the point is that setting aside your hyper moral bullshit, this is bad. And it's pretty common sense that if this is bad for the nation, then it's bad for me as an individual. Right? I remember, like, when I was in college, they used to send out all these credit card things. So, like, when you're in college, they want to get you in credit card debt. And then you're like, well, wait a minute, but I'm already tens of thousands of dollars in debt to student loans, right? So it's like debt. Why? Because now you're a slave for the rest of your life. You're going to be, for the next several years, I don't know what you, like, even if you choose like the highest paying job, if you want to be an engineer or something when you get out of college, okay, and you've got, I don't know, 100,000, if you go to grad school, $200,000 of debt, 250 now. So you got to work for how many years as an engineer to pay off now the interest accumulating debt? So you bought into and put yourself into debt slavery, into a broken, fraudulent system. Now, the only people for many, many years talking about this were people in the libertarian sphere and gold bugs or other sort of, fringe savant type individuals, eccentric high IQ individuals that understood that this was all a scam. The whole society is organized as a scam. That's the first red pill, so to speak, in the truest traditional conspiracy sense that most people have a hard time getting over. Society is organized as a giant concentric circles of monetary scam. That's how society is organized. Now, when I first heard this, I was like, that's pretty wild. But I heard it before. I'd never heard of Tragedy and Hope. But I actually had a Calvinist pastor who believed this. He was all about gold. And he bought me a book. I've never been able to find this. I think I still have it, but I've never been able to find it on Amazon. So it's kind of an obscure book. I think his name was S.L. Mooney. And it was about the philosophy of money. And the point of the book was that money has to be tied to some hard asset. All right. So it was making the same point that, Ron Paul and even Tragedy and Hope is making, but it was before I knew of any of those people. This was in 1999 or 2000. It's right around the time of the Big Nine when I got that book. I need to find that book, by the way, because I've still got it here somewhere. And it's just basically, von Mises type basics, right? Just gold is the ideal monetary currency. Anyway, but that was maybe sensible in the year 1999 or the year 2000. But here we are 25 years later when I first learned about this stuff. And what has the debt done? Look at that debt, dude. That is crazy. That is crazy balls. Right? Let's go back to his chart. 6 trillion to 36 trillion. So in 25-ish, 30 years, the debt did a 6x? A 6x? Did it have to? No. Now you think, well, I don't give a shit about none of this. It's stealing from you, dummy. That means that your dollars are able to purchase you less and less junk. Hence, your disgusting hash brown from McDonald's goes from $1 to $4 in a few years. I'll never forget when one day I think I was a senior in high school, and I was driving after class one day, and even at this point, gas was over $1. But I remember seeing 97-cent gas back in 1997. And I was like, I'll never see that again. You'll never see 97-cent gas, right? 97-cent gas in 1997 in Tennessee. Granted, in California, I'm sure at that time it was $1.50 in the 90s. But let's see what the average gas price is now. $3.50. $3 to, well, actually $3 to $3.60. Anywhere from $3 to $3.90 apparently. When did it hit $1? This is what I'm talking about, right? Yep. Well, that's the gas crisis of the 70s. That's not what I'm looking for. Isn't that crazy though? In the 90s, late 90s, there were still places where gas was 97 cents. That's crazy. Anyway. But, well, wait a minute. Well, why? Why would gas go from 97 cents to $4 basically now? Again, because of what I'm talking about. Because the entire U.S. system is based around a giant black hole of debt that just keeps sucking all of the energy of the future generations into the debt. So it's stealing from you and your children and their work and their time over time. And I understood this only when I read the entirety of Tragedy and Hope 10 years ago. 10-ish, maybe 11 years ago. Because I understood the entire game plan of the central fiat banking model. The gold reserve note model. Fractional reserve banking. That's the first several hundred pages of that book. So, how do we get out of that? There is no way out. It is true, again, for y'all slow boys, let me help you out again. It's true that gold has been a hedge. But I don't understand the thought process of the gold idiots. I just don't get it at all. It makes no sense. Okay, so the first time I bought gold was in 2007, 8, or 9, somewhere in there. So this only goes back to 2015. I remember when I bought it, it was like $800, something like that, $700, $800. But in 2015, gold was $1,000. Okay, so 10 years ago, $1,000. What are we at now? 3,500. So a 3.5x. A 3.5x. Now, against the dollar, that's good. Peter Schiff tweet about gold. Oh, you mean the one where he admitted that it's supposed to be that? Yeah, but he doesn't really believe that. But again, 100 years of gold. Let's see, what does this say? Well, this is interesting. The 100-year gold chart compared to the dollar. This will blow your mind. Now remember, the dollar used to be pegged to gold, right? It was tied to the value. You could exchange your Illuminati dollar bills with the all seeing eye on it for gold. And then here we have the stock market collapse, and then we have FDR. Remember when FDR tried to confiscate gold, right? So the government said, you can't own gold. Give us your gold. Here's your worthless fiat money. I mean, just crazy level scammery from these socialist lunatics, right? $35 for an ounce of gold in 1950. $35 in 1950. I know you don't care about the 1950s, but this tells you the craziness Do you understand that that chart going like that means that the dollar is going like that? That's the point of that chart. In 1950, gold was $35. Now, gold is $3,500. But that's what, 100x? 100x from 1950. So it took 75 years to do 100x. Did you hear me? Slow boys. I'm not very good at math even, by the way. I'm not saying I'm some like math genius. I'm not a math genius. Okay, but this is not that hard. 1,000x from 1950, all the way up until 1965. Interesting. So gold basically stayed $35 from 1930 to 1970. That's pretty crazy. And what do we have right here? Oh, the Nixon shock doctrine. The dollar goes off of the gold standard. Right here, 1971. And then what happens to the dollar? It diarrheas itself. Do you not understand? This doesn't mean that like gold didn't suddenly become magically more mystically powerful. Gold became more valuable than the worthless fiat dollar because it's no longer attached to gold as it was throughout this flat period. See that? Oh, here we go. And everybody who was into gold, like the Rothschilds, or the Bank of England, or the Queen of England, they made tremendous amounts of money after Nixon's idiotic, destructive idea. So they were all for this. If you have gold, yeah, I don't mind the dollar collapsing. Because that makes me, the value of my asset go to the moon. To 3,500 now. So 100x in 60 years, 65 years. Now, a lot of y'all say, well, that makes a lot of sense. And to the boomers and to the grandparents, that does make sense. And props to my grandma. She had a decent amount of money in gold throughout this time period. She passed away, but my college ended up paid for because my grandmother invested in gold throughout those years. Gold is more valuable than Bitcoin. You're an idiot. Like, literally, Bitcoin is literally more valuable on the chart than gold, you dummy. Please do not ever come back to my chat, you idiot. Now, I don't mind if you have gold, but to say something so fundamentally stupid that you could verify isn't even true within 2 seconds drives me insane. Why is this showing me? I just want the Bitcoin price. I don't want the price. What is this? Why is it doing this? Let's just do this. Here we go. Again, I don't know why you can't understand a basic chart, you idiot. It took gold 60 to 65 years to do 100x. It took Bitcoin 10 years to do a 22,000x, you idiot. How, in anyone's mind, could you think gold is more valuable than Bitcoin? It, first of all, is not. One Bitcoin is $102,000. 1 ounce of gold is $3,500. And it took it 60 years, almost a lifetime, to do 100x. And it took Bitcoin 10 years to do a 22,000x. Probably one of the stupidest comments I've ever seen in my chat ever, or on anywhere ever. Where? I don't care about money, Jay. Well, do you pay your bills? Do you have to provide for people? Because pretty much everybody else does. So I'm glad that you don't now do the tulip bulbs. Are you serious? How do I have so many stupid people in this audience? Tulip bulb bubble? By the way, it's funny because people talk about that. The tulip bulbs are actually still a massive, like, multi-billion-dollar industry. So it's actually a really dumb argument to talk about the tulip bubble. And why would Bitcoin is not even a bubble if it's already at a $2 trillion market cap. And now there's ETFs. Now there's government strategic reserves. Now there's government acceptance. What are you talking about? Why are you repeating the FUD from idiots on the internet 10 years ago, which is not relevant anymore? This is not Silk Road times, dummy. This is not go get your Bitcoins on the Pokemon message boards. This isn't 2015, you idiots. It's 2025. JR $5. Bitcoin can be tracked. It can be hacked. Bitcoin can't be hacked. So that's not true. Or at least it has not, as of yet, been hacked. If you mean the Bitcoin network. Do you mean your wallet can be hacked? Yeah, your bank can also be robbed. You can lose your cash. So, yes, every asset can conceivably be lost. Bitcoin can be made just like any other crypto. No, it can't. Bitcoin is hard capped at 21 million. There will not be new Bitcoins. That's the protocol. So, don't talk to me if you've not even done basic knowledge of this, basic study of this topic. Why are you talking to me about displaying your idiocy? B. Ryan, $5. Jay is speaking facts. Give them Dave Ramsey and Ray Dalio. Dave Ramsey is an idiot boomer who still thinks Bitcoin is, it's not a thing. It doesn't exist. Oh yeah, like Facebook, not a thing, doesn't exist. Twitter, not a thing, doesn't exist. They're networks. What do you mean they don't exist? Just the network alone and Moore's Law and all of that shows you that network can be worth. What are you even talking about? It's not a real thing. Oh, really? So it's as real as Facebook, is it not? Now, I don't even like Facebook. Facebook is like boomer, face boomer, right? What is Facebook worth? $700 a share. It's worth nothing. It's not worth nothing because each share is worth. What is the Facebook market cap? I don't even know. So almost as much as Bitcoin. Imagine thinking that it's not physical. It don't got no value. Really, no value. $2 trillion almost. Right? It's right under Bitcoin. Bitcoin's 2 trillion. Facebook market cap 1.7 trillion. It don't got no value because it's not real. It is real. It's an internet company. It's a network. Networks have value. Data has value. Data's not real. This is the stupidest boomer thing I've ever heard in my life. I mean, I just... And all these boomers are on Facebook. And boomers own Facebook stock. What do you mean? It's not real. What? Why are you instructing me on a thing that you have no knowledge of? That I've been in this for almost a decade. What are you talking about? Like, Dude, I'm going to be able to retire from Bitcoin. What are you talking about? Why are you instructing me on something, telling me and showing me that you don't know what this? You are the problem. This is the problem. People think they know things and they don't. The idiocy, that's what I'm talking about. People think they know about geopolitics. They don't know about it. I'll watch some YouTube videos. So? Orthodox Life, $5. I can't believe I was watching Tom and Jerry and I was getting ear glue instead of investing in Bitcoin. There was no Bitcoin. I think he's making a joke because there was no Bitcoin in 2009, dude. But the point still stands. Like, first of all, guys, you're talking, like, I learned that the Federal Reserve System was a scam in the year 2000, 1999, 2000. I was learning about gold as a hard asset currency 25 years ago. Why are you instructing me as if you know how this works when I guarantee that you don't by your statements and your questions? And if you have not demonstrated that you can be successful in this domain, it makes no sense. It's like in this domain and in logic and philosophy and debate, people assume that all the opinions are valid and that you don't need any prior knowledge or fluency or capability or competency in these domains to sound off and be an expert. I don't understand this. Because in no other domain is it that way. Can you go to people who play guitar, who are classically trained guitarists, and tell them, you don't know how to play guitar? No, I don't know the chords yet, but you don't know how to play guitar. It's insane. This is why you will remain poor, is you are the problem. You are the idiot. You are the one who doesn't take the time to think, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should learn about this. If I haven't read a book on this, maybe I don't know about it. Jordan became a member for 1 month. Tangent wallet and separate crypto only phone started for a setup. I don't know about that wallet. I would say for people starting out, Ledger has the Flex now, the new Ledger wallet. But some people don't even like Ledger because Ledger houses altcoins. And people who are Bitcoin maxis believe that housing altcoins can make the wallet susceptible to problems. So Ledger is overall still a very good company. They have a good track record for the most part. And they've not had specific major wallet hardware issues. But remember, never buy a wallet from anyone but the actual seller, first of all. Never buy some hardware wallet from the internet or from like a used Amazon. That'd be the dumbest thing ever. Oh, I'm going to get a used Ledger wallet on Amazon. Yeah, good job losing all your money, you idiot. Only buy it from the retailer themselves. And I would actually say a Blockstream Jade, but I won't even go into that. I've tried different wallets. I've used Trezor, I've used Ledger, I've used Blockstream Jade, on and on and on. I've had tons of hot wallets. Number one, if you're going to have significant amounts of Bitcoin, you have to have a cold storage wallet. You don't want... Anyway, tonight wasn't actually supposed to be totally about Bitcoin, but every time I talk about this, and anywhere you talk about this, millions of idiots flood from out of nowhere to tell everyone how all of this works, even though they have no knowledge of this subject, which is just blows my mind. I don't understand. It's the same in religion too. It's like people who just picked up the Bible suddenly know everything about religion and theology and they're experts. It's just so many delusions. It's like people don't realize that they are their own worst enemies. You are your own worst enemy. for most people. It's the Jews, it's the this, it's the women, it's the that, it's the feminists, it's the that. You're placing all this blame on all of the things out there. What if you are your own worst enemy? Plus all of the external things. It can be all those things and you too, dummy. What if you're a problem too? Now, EA has the right, he's got the right idea here. But if it's physical, it's better than internet coin. Well, what do you mean by better? I mean, physical is not better for ease of transaction. Are we going to get a Spanish galleon and take our giant chests of treasure and float over to Spain and then float over to Thailand to deliver our payment in gold doubloons? The boomers think yes. Peter Schiff thinks yes. So in the information age, the digital age, we're not going to use digital money, even though everything else, music, pictures, video, has been digitized. We don't use VHS anymore. DVDs are going away. CDs are going away. I mean, there will still be some of those things, but you know what I'm saying. Like, most people prefer the convenience and the ease of the digital MP3, the digital photo, Instagram, all this blah, blah, blah. Now, I am a fan of having the physical things. I will never have digital books. I don't care if you want to have your digital books. I will never have digital books. I don't read PDFs. It's got to be printed out. We have 2 rooms just like this, wall to wall, full of books, and they don't even fill up. We got more books than those 2 rooms. But they're just like this, full. And then I got at another house, another room full of books. And there's still too many books. So I am not for digital books. Although I don't care if you have a digital book or a PDF. It doesn't bother me. You do what you want. But I do believe in the physical objects. I do like CDs. I would like to actually start getting records as well. I've just, for whatever reason, not had the time and the energy to begin collecting records. But I would like to eventually. And then I'll get my DJ turntables and all that, and the world will be healed. But it is insane and stupid to think that, short of some apocalypse, which even if there's some, I don't mean the literal apocalypse, but some mini apocalypse, and, well, the internet goes out for you. Well, the internet's not going away. It's decentralized. So even if one country blows up, there's still going to be the internet. Even if we have a power outage for, I don't know, a month, 6 months, the internet can still come back. And your Bitcoin doesn't delete, it doesn't go away, you goofuses. Anyway, in the digital age, it is insane to think that money would not also become digital. But as the designers of Bitcoin wisely understood, it must in some way be a hard cap asset. And even though it's digital, there must be some way to ensure that it cannot be inflated into infinity, as any central bank digital currency could be, because it is fiat. Bitcoin is not fiat, or at least ultimately it is not fiat. Yes, there are new Bitcoin created, but the protocol mandates, the math mandates that it is hard capped at 21 million. Thus, it becomes the hardest asset in the world. That's the whole point of it. It's a monetary protocol and a network. So to think that that doesn't have value is just idiotic. First of all, even if you think it doesn't have value, millions and millions and millions of people, and now nation states and companies, believe it has value because it has $2 trillion worth of market cap value. It is above Facebook and MasterCard in value, in market cap, you idiots. It ain't got no value because it ain't physical. Yeah, but none of the tech companies are physical, you goofus. And they have value. They have trillions of dollars of market cap. Well, at least Amazon provides a service. Yes, Bitcoin is the monetary service, a monetary protocol. That's a service. In fact, that's the most important service because it will replace the gold ledger system that the world operated on for the last few hundred years. Did you know that was an experiment? A gold ledger system that the world has operated on, that Quigley talks about in the first few hundred pages, for the last few hundred years. Why would we use the system that would be like saying horse and buggy will replace vehicles because we've always used horse and buggy to get around? Well, do people still use horses? Sure. Can you get around with a horse? Of course. A horse is a horse, of course. Do most people get around with horses now? No. Why? Because cars do it better. Planes do it better. What are you talking about? It's common sense, you goofuses. Why are you all children? Why are you acting like 12-year-olds? Can you not learn the basics here? Now, another point that Saylor has made over the years, which I think is a pretty good argument. Do you understand that no asset that has gotten above, I forget how many hundreds of billions, has collapsed? So if Bitcoin has reached $2 trillion, so far there's not been a multi-trillion-dollar thing that has ever collapsed. That doesn't mean there can't be. But for the people who act like, well, this fad is going away tomorrow. Dude, I've been hearing that since 2017 when I started. And the fad didn't go to zero. In 2017, it was $3,000. Right here. Look at that. The summer I first bought Bitcoin, I was like, wait a minute. I saw this thing go from a few $100s and it doubled to $1,200. And I bought it around 2000 something. Right here. 2017. In that summer. And guess what? All the stupid comments that you dum-dums are saying in the chat are all the same stupid dum-dum comments that everyone told me in 2017. You idiots. So instead of having humility and learning that you might be wrong, because the last 8-9 years has shown you to be wrong, you want to continue to argue with me your idiot position. It's like, go be a cult member. Go be a Roman Catholic, a Mormon, because that's a Muslim, because that's how you guys act. You just repeat like mina birds, dumb bullshit that some other idiot said that you think sounds smart, and you're just an NPC repeater. Why are you wasting everyone's time? Go away, you dum-dums. HFSP. You are your own worst enemy. It is not everyone else's problem that's the problem. You're the problem. You. Look in the mirror. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. Oh, yeah. I'm asking him to change his ways. Now, the good news is that it's still early. Because in another 5 years, Bitcoin will be $1 million. It's going to go zero. When it hits $1 million, all you dum-dums are going to be saying the same stuff. It's going to go zero. It's not real. Anyway, you're all mockingjays. Exactly. Bobby C, $5. How come these people, let these people come on to debate Bitcoin? That never goes well. It would be premium content. Not as good as all the Mormons, but good still. Very rarely do they want to come on to debate. Hallowed Knight, $2. Invest in Tag Coin. I don't even want shit coins of the stuff I talk about. You know what I mean? Because the only look, what Max Kaiser said, that the shit coins are for people to get your Bitcoins. It's a funny comment. Ed, $5. I'm very pro Bitcoin. My boomer dad is a financial professor. Oh, here we go. Why is it, dude, there's just something about boomers, man. They just cannot get it. Although, to my mom's credit, I did convince her of Bitcoin. His argument is that Bitcoin has no intrinsic value. This is what every boomer says. I don't understand why boomers cannot grab that. So, and somehow in their mind, value is inherent to physicality, even though they recognize Facebook is not physical. The pictures that are uploaded to Facebook and Instagram are digital. The communications are digital. Your music is digital. Boomers all understand this, but think that that has no value. It's almost like they can't do philosophy 101. It's like, this is like a basic philosophical question that they just assume that value equates to physicality. Why? There's all kinds of things that are valuable that are not necessarily physical. Knowledge itself is valuable. It's not physical. Even boomers transfer money that's not physical. They do wire transfers. They have banking apps that tell them their bank balance. And you can set apps to pay your bills now. It's not physically happening. It's electronic. Does that have value? It's just like, am I talking to a boomer professor or am I talking to a kid? It's like talking to a 13-year-old, 12-year-old. Why do you think that only physical things have value? That's dumb. Knowledge, education has value. It's just weird, dude. Will you make your own meme coin? No, I would not make my own meme coin. In fact, when Tin Hat Cat, we give that meme coin away. Not because I have a problem with people doing what they want, but if you want to tokenize stuff and do those things, that's people's decisions. But I'm not going to do that for myself because I literally just buy Bitcoin. That's it. And I did several years of trading and all the different coins. And it was somewhat successful, but also somewhat, it probably just evened out. So it was like, there was really, what did I do all that sweating and worrying and fretting and gambling and betting and all that on everything over the years. It's like, I went back, I was like, well, if I just bought Bitcoin, I would basically be in the same situation or even better. So the logic of it didn't make sense. But I mean, you can do what you want with your money. If you want to go to Vegas and put $1,000 on red, you have the freedom to do that. I mean, roulette is better odds than the other ones for the most part. So making sure to Tsar Nicholas 2 Canadian. What's your favorite car? Are you into cars? I drive a Mercedes E-Class. It's an older one, like not old, but like a 2018 ish. Yeah, so this is what I drive. I like it. It's a really cool car. In fact, because it was my first Mercedes, I'm tempted to never sell it because I like it. But I tend to like luxury cars. I think they're cool. I've always liked Jaguars, so if I did have some fancy car, it would probably be something like a Jaguar one day. But let's see what the new Jaguars look like. That looks kind of, that's a little too sporty. I'd rather have something a little more luxury looking. This looks like a damn boomer family sedan. That looks boring as hell. That does not look cool. I do think Mercedes, like back in the 90s or Jaguars in the 90s and 2000s, they were looking cool. So maybe that's a sport model. Let's see. F-Type, that's pretty cool. It looks like they're going for more sporty than luxury. Let's see. I don't know. It's a little too much like a, I don't know, like a Ferrari or something. I mean, they're okay. It's just I've tended to prefer. I thought back in the '90s, Jaguars look really cool, like this kind. That's more of a old school, like this right here. That kind. '90s Jaguars, I thought were like peak luxury. Like that right there, like even in 2000s, 2007, that looks cool. Anyway, but it looks like the newer ones, they kind of just look like all the other cars. It's not very exciting. Let's see. Is that? Oh, that's a concept car. Ugh, that's ugly, dude. What the hell? Hideous. I mean, this is not terrible, but again, it's almost like a Ferrari or something. I don't know. Let's see, what's another? I might prefer like a newer Mercedes over that. What do you think about white? The thing with white is like it looks like a mom car. It's like a wine mom, like a rich wine mom car. I don't know about a white one. That's pretty cool. That's not bad. A coupe. Anyway. I don't like G-Wagons. I like the luxury car look. That's what I like. Anyway, what do you guys like? What's your car of choice? Eek, $5. Can I hear Nick Cage talking to Osho? Didn't I do this? Or no, maybe I didn't do that. Aston Martins do look cool. You're right. Who's Jose? What's Jose? Jose's mad. Osho, I'd really like to know where do you get your inspiration and your vibes from? I'd like to put it into my psyche at the most basic level. Well, to get the vibes, you must have the seeds of the serpent placed into your bungholes. How's that? Is that what you want? Oh, I forgot about Rolls Royce. Yeah, Rolls Royce do look cool. I mean, that's way out of my price range, but they do look cool. I bet a lot of new cars are looking ugly though, because they feel some need to make them look spacey, and it's like, just make a luxury car. We don't want a luxury car in space. Space is fake and gay, dude. We're not going to space. What is this? Ugh. I mean, that one's okay, I guess. But it looks too modernized. Like, you don't... Why does everything have to have some gay space vibe to it, dude? We're not going... It's a car. We're not going to space. We're going to make these cars look space age. Why? They're on the ground. They're terrestrial. There's literally nothing to do with space in a car. They're on the ground. Forever. No one's car is going to space. It's not a spaceship. It doesn't need to look space age. Whoa, dude. Look at that thing. I don't know about that. That looks like some rapper shit, dude. That's a rapper car right there. Whoa, look at that thing. I don't know about a peach Rolls Royce. I don't know about that. That's a little much. That's a little flashy. How much? I don't even know how much a Rolls Royce is. I have no idea. Let's see. What do you think a Rolls? What's the cost of a Rolls Royce? Let's see. 300,000. Damn, son. The base case. Base case 300,000. The Phantom is 500,000. So $500,000 for a Rolls Royce. No, we're not there yet. We're more in the Mercedes domain of things right now. By the way, I didn't buy a new Mercedes. I got one that was a couple years old. I got a good price on it, so that's why I got a gray Mercedes. But not in the domain of, that's a lot of super chats away. Rolls Royce is a lot of super chats away, y'all. I'm kidding. I don't care about getting a Rolls Royce, but we're just joking. We're having fun, joking around. Everybody's taking it too seriously. People are so finicky and weird about money. It's part of life, dude. You got to make money. What are you talking about? 1995 Mercedes SL320 says, "Hey you" for $2. I liked a lot of the styles of the cars in the 90s, so I'm sure that this one is pretty sweet. Let's take a look at that. How do we get on Mercedes? It's a totally different topic. That's okay. I actually like having the conversations with you guys where you guys take the conversation into wherever you want to go. Oh, yeah, I remember these 90s looking boxy ones. Those are cool. I like that, yeah. I wouldn't mind even a sunroof drop top like that right there. That'd be sweet, dude. You'd have 90s chicks drooling over you if you had that, dude. JB Peltier, $5. Car aesthetics have been cooked for a decade. You know what? I never even thought about that, but I think you're right. Because, like, I'm thinking that the last cool Jaguar I saw was in the 2000s. Yep. That's pretty cool. I like that. I don't like the red, but that's ugly as hell right there. But that's classic. See, that looks classic. Even that one is classic. I like that one. That's classic right there. I like that. But what the hell? Ugh, look at that, dude. That's a damn sedan. That's a wine mom sedan. That's not a luxury car. Anyway. Groove Monster, $10. I got another book recommendation. It's called Mapping the New World Order by Blackwell. It analyzes the development of global intergovernmental institutional architecture since World War II. Oh, okay. That sounds good. It's interesting that academic books are now kind of adopting globalization, New World Order. You know, I bought the Inquiry book, by the way. Whoever recommended the History of the Inquiry, that book is on its way. The CFR and the Inquiry. And then, I want to tell you guys the other new books we got. We didn't just get the Mormon book, which I'm glad that came. I did get this classic Mormon doctrine, and I've already found some gems in that. But we also got Moses Hess's book, finally. Look at that. Rome and Jerusalem, Moses Hess. The one that Richard has been citing in his lectures quite a bit. Harry Serpanos, $5. The U.S. deficits are out of control. Trump is acting like a turbo-spinning socialist. Yeah, actually, is it the big, beautiful bill that has the extra new debt in it? Because if that's the case, I'm going to have to say Elon's correct on this one. But I haven't even looked into the big, beautiful BBB. What is in this bill? I don't even know. Should we ask Grok? Is the big, beautiful bill about the debt ceiling? Is that what's going on? It raises it by $4 trillion. I thought so. The bill focuses on expanding tax cuts, but it's like stupid shit like no taxes on tips, which there shouldn't be tax on tips, obviously, but like, I thought we were gonna get rid of income tax and the Federal Reserve. Like, that's the point. That's what we got to get. This just seems like boomer kick the can down the road bullshit, right? It could raise the debt. So just trillions of dollars of more debt. So if that's what's going on, it sounds like Elon's correct about this. Now, all the drama is because of the fallout over this. And Elon put that it's time for a new political party. And that Trump, he alleges, is on the Epstein lists, which is a hugely contentious claim because many people are saying that Trump was at parties, but we don't have evidence. Now, I don't know. Obviously, we don't know, right? That Trump was... There's not... The claim is that there's no evidence that Trump is compromised. However, Elon is alleging that Trump is keeping the Jeff Stein McCaffrey files from being made public because he's in it. That is the pretty insane... I don't mean insane like impossible. I don't know. We don't know. But that's the wild... in terms of newsworthy stuff today, that Elon is saying it will come out. Now, I don't know. That I don't know. We were told that Patel and Bondi and all these people, the Epstein files are going to be released. And then we've heard nothing but excuses ever since as to why they won't. And anti-Semitism and this and that and it's all gonna that's what we can. Who knows what the real reason is? But this is today's drama. But my whole point is none of this fixes anything until you fix the Federal Reserve. And even Elon doesn't even seem to understand that, because when he was posting all the Doge stuff and how Doge will fix the debt and this and that, it never seems to be clear that the debt is an effect. It's not the cause. The Federal Reserve money printing is the cause. No one seems to know this, although at least Trump seems to say this. But whether he can actually do anything is still unknown, in the sense of, can he fire Jerome Powell? Well, even if he fires Jerome Powell, like, that just means that dude gets replaced. What about the money printer? Who turns off the money printer? When are we having that discussion? Because nothing gets fixed until that. So even this discussion is meaningless until that gets fixed. And how do neither of these people... Well, I take that back. Trump at least thinks to, or at least he talks as if the Federal Reserve is the problem. He has many times said that. So that's where we are. Basically, like, I don't what is more drama that doesn't do anything except get everybody talking about when are we going to talk about the Federal Reserve? That's the problem. We're talking about drama between Trump and Elon, and this is all a distraction, as the crypto dude said. That's not solving the problem. The debt and the money printer is the problem, as this dude said.
Your brains, guys. Come on. I'm here to kind of shake you out. All right. This is going to happen regardless. It doesn't matter. It's all theater. Everything Musk says. Sorry, Musk, Trump, Biden, Clinton's, Bush's, whatever. It doesn't matter who they are. They are all part of the club, and they're not your friend. And this is just proof to you guys. Come on. The central banks are going to be inflating your currency to oblivion. And that is why they're coming out with central bank digital currencies in the form of stablecoins. You heard it here first, or hopefully somebody else. It's good to actually hear other people talking about this, not just me. Okay, so moving on, we also have Elon Musk calls for lobbying against spending bill. He says, call your senator, call your congressman. Bankrupting America is not okay. Kill the bill. So I wrote underneath him, Sir Crypto Tips, if you want to follow me there. If a mere phone call was all that Americans needed to stop the currency printer, the Federal Reserve would not have survived since 2013. Think about that. Let me
Yeah,
read that.
I mean, that
over
guy,
again
I don't agree with
again,
everything.
okay? Just to
I don't agree
help
with everything that him and
clarify
his
who
wife say.
runs
Why is
the
this not
show.
working?
If a mere phone call was
I don't agree with everything that him and his wife say, but he's correct about that. And the Bitcoiners are the only people who really seem to understand when Elon posts kill Bill, meaning kill Trump's big beautiful bill. It's only Bitcoiners that seem to understand kill dollar bill. Because the dollar bill is meaning the money printer. It's fiat. The gold chart shows you this, guys. Also, I think that gold bugs are wedded to gold obsessively because they think that the only way they're ever going to make any money is by the whole world being convinced of gold and the gold standard. And it's like, dude, you're on the wrong train, dude. It's not 1555, brah. We're not on the Black Pearl. Christopher Scott, a little bit of my broke money for you. Well, hey, man, if you're broke, you don't have to super chat, but I appreciate that. Skooma Bear, $10. Buy the dip. Actually, yes, you have a nice little dip. I don't know if we're ever going to go. I mean, I don't think we'll never see $60,000, $70,000 Bitcoin again. I don't think so. Somebody was telling me, oh, I'm not going to buy it when it's in its 60s or 80s. I'm going to wait till it goes down to $10,000. Dude, it's not going to go to $10,000 again. You're crazy. What are you talking about? That's my belief. Jay's new cringe fishing shirt, $1. When are you going to do merch? I keep forgetting to do it. By the way, we've gone to 2 different stores and they were just like nightmares to deal with. And I never got any merch. So I've tried twice. It's not from no attempt at it, but the 2 stores that we tried were just idiot nightmare people, and it was just like, forget it. Derek V, what's up, man? Welcome to being a subscriber. Vladimir Brankovic, 212, $5. I've been wondering, is the subjective theory of value from the Austrian school compatible with an orthodox view of value? I doubt that the orthodox view is going to be 100% compatible with any kind of like heterodox or secular theory. I mean, I know that the Austrian school included different Jews and different people, Catholics, I think even, and Protestants. So I think there's probably always going to be some issues. And I think, yeah, it would be it's probably just ultimately kind of a secular or pragmatic idea of value, or Protestant idea of value. And then versus value that's not grounded in something objective. That's a good question. I mean, this gets into like, well, why does gold have value because there's objective value, or does it have value only relative to humans wanting gold and seeing value in gold? There's probably some both and versus either or going on here. I don't know exactly how. That's a good question. I don't know. H. Brazzi, $5. Trump's a feminist boomer. Elon is a spurgy IVF enthusiast. Let's get back to the CARZ. Man, all y'all want to talk about CARZ tonight. That's fine with me. Orthodoxy for in motion, $2. It's a 1989 Lincoln Town Car that is objectively the best. You know what? Back in the 80s, I did like Lincolns. I thought they looked cool. Let's see what a 1989. My grandma's Cadillac I thought was the coolest car ever. That's probably why I got sold on luxury cars when I was a little kid. It was my grandma's Cadillac. I thought a giant boxy pimp car is the coolest car. And I think, yeah, dude, I've always liked these. Yeah, dude. When I was a kid, I had one grandmother that had or maybe she had a Cadillac and a Lincoln. I can't remember. But even when I was a kid, you'd have dudes who were like, you like a Ferrari? You like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini? I'm like, I like my grandma's Lincoln, dude. What are you talking about? I like my grandma's pimp-ass pimp car, dude. What are you talking about? What? Did the car... Are you guys seeing the right live stream? Because I'm seeing... It's like my live stream image in YouTube started over. What the heck's going on? Or did I click the wrong button? Y'all are seeing a Lincoln Town Car, correct? Trump versus Elon. Lincoln versus Jaguar. Okay, good. Everything's good. I just hit the wrong button on the internal thing here. Nick, $5. Elon is right about the bill, but the Epstein stuff is off base. If Trump was actually on that list, wouldn't they have used it? Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like, this would have been brought out a long time ago. But, see, I have problems with both of these because, number one, Elon should be talking about the Federal Reserve, and at least Trump does that. But Elon's correct that if this bill is just more debt, that's dumb. So they're both right and they're both wrong, which is what usually happens. Josiah Aliron, $20. So both Snagglebeast and I are initiated into the true church. Is that what you call your wife? What the hell are you talking about? You are partially responsible. Well, man, I think you need to repent from calling your wife Snagglebeast unless she really is that funky. What? Who is Snagglebeast? Is that what you call your wife? What the hell? That's his actual super chat. Look, let's see if I can play it. That's what he said. Like, what? Who's Snagglebeast, man? What are you talking about? I hope you mean your ugly brother or something. Dude calls his wife Snagglebeast. Maybe he's talking about his Lincoln. He got the priest to bless his 1989 Lincoln presidential town car that he calls Snagglebeast. Who the hell is Snagglebeast? What does that mean? Dude, these are pimp as hell, dude. That's pimp as hell. Did y'all see Carl Mooney's movie? I thought it was pretty funny. The one about Y2K. It was kind of crazy. I mean, it's got some pretty intense sequences. It's a horror movie. Audiences only gave it 40%. I disagree. This was funny. If you grew up at this time, I mean, the dialogue was making me laugh, dude. He kept talking about stuff being pimp as hell. I was like, that's a straight up 2000 era slang term right there. Damn, dude, that's pimp as hell. Well, that Lincoln Town Car was pimp as hell. What are you talking about? You see my MySpace? It's pimp as hell, dude. Hey, you, $5. The big ugly bill blocks states from making laws restricting AI. For 10 years, that's plenty of time for tech oligarchs to implement controls. Big ugly bill blocks states from making laws restricting AI. So is this about that Trump's AI Project Stargate thing or whatever? Is that what this is about? Oh, does this must favor something like Altman or something that Elon doesn't like. Is that part of it? Somebody said that Elon's not getting a EV car deal or something. That could make sense too. Emilion for $20. I could see you in a black Range Rover. I'm not a Range Rover dude, man. I had one SUV one time, and I got a decent price on it. I forget what it was. Like a Trailblazer, something like that. And their freaking dog had peed in it in the back, right? And I guess they just let it cake into it with the heat and the sun. So when I bought it, I kid you not, I cleaned that rug for hours. And you could never get the dog piss out of this thing. Maybe it's cat piss, I don't know. But that soured me on SUVs because I drove that SUV for about a year or two. And then the engine went out. It was a nightmare. I was like, man, screw SUVs, dude. This sucks. Crazy California fishing, $5. Oh, what was that? See, now y'all got me all talking about cars. And I don't even know about cars, dude. I don't even know. What was that thing? Ford. It was like a Trailblazer SUV from like maybe 2000. Let's try that. Yeah, dude, that's what I had. That's what I had right there. It looked just like that. That was it, dude. I tried that thing. I liked it for a few months because you could do all this cool stuff with it. You could go out in the country and park and have a picnic out of the back. And that stupid ass dog or cat that the previous owners had just ruined that back. If you tried to lay in the back or chill out back there, you're just laying in dog piss. Like just hot, crusty, caked dog piss that you could never get out. You'd have to rip out the upholstery or something. It'd probably still be in there. And I enjoyed this for maybe a year, and then the freaking engine just quit. I had to pay like $2,000 for a nice boomer who took a loss to replace the engine for me for $2,000. Because it was supposed to be like $4,000. He was like, well, I feel sorry for you. I'll fix it for $2,000. It was awful. So when you tell me, I'll tell you this. A 1965 black El Camino, somebody says. Dan Vicious for $5. I'll take that over this stupid ass Blazer. Trailblazer. Yeah, I'll take that. That's kind of cool. That's a crazy idea, too. Somebody was just like, dude, screw trucks. Just make the car a truck. And then you don't need the truck. And everybody's like, damn, dude, I never thought about that. Why are we making a car and a truck when we could just make a cuck or a trar? That's what El Camino is. What do you think of that? H. Brazzi, $5. I saw somebody say Vanquish, but that's for virgins. I don't know what a y'all are car people talking all this car talk. And I don't know none of this stuff. I know what Aston Martin is. Is the same deal we give there with Sam Hyde and Nick and all that. Did they know all? They'll talk all this car stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I like the D9000. Sure, that's cool. I'll say the Aston Martin is looking better than the new Jaguar. What's the Aston Martin look like right now? Let's see what it looks like. It's like they're all starting to look like Corvettes and Ferraris and stuff. What the heck? I thought I was getting a James Bond car. That looks like something Andrew Tate would drive. Where's my Bond car at? Now this is looking a little more like a Bond car. But like cars like that, I never liked. To me they look like bugs. Remember when I was a kid, like all the dudes want some kind of sports car that I'm like, that looks like a bug to me. It doesn't look cool. Now let's go get, and that one's a little better. Even though if I'm gonna have to get a modern one, I guess I'll take something like that. That looks pretty cool. Oh, that one's all right. I'll take that one. But the 60s ones are pretty cool. A little bit of a side note. Although I don't know much about cars, my dad was a super car dude. And my dad was also, he doesn't do this, he's still alive, but he doesn't do this kind of stuff as much anymore. But he used to put together like from scratch or with kits, just cars, motorcycles, all kinds of stuff, right? He completely restored a I don't know what year, 60s, maybe 70s Triumph. Not a motorcycle. And it was pretty cool. Yes. It looked like this, but it was yellow. And I believe Triumph is a British car. So, yeah, my dad restored a Triumph. And he also restored an MG Midget. It's not PC. So here's a funny story. I learned to drive originally on an MG Midget. And I was 15. He was teaching me, and it was a stick shift. And so I learned to drive on a stick shift MG Midget. And then I didn't get a car until I think I was 17. And it was automatic, and so I never remembered how to drive on a stick shift, but it was a pretty cool car. And then my first car, for those that are curious, was a Grand Am, and it was probably in 1993. Yeah. My first car looked like that, like, nah, it was cooler than that. That looks ugly. It looked like that. 1993 Grand Am. Now, I didn't get this in 1993. It was used. I got it in 1996 or 7. But that was my first car. What do y'all think of that? I thought it was so cool to play the Beastie Boys and drive on my own. Because if you're riding with your parents, they don't want to hear no Beastie Boys. Turn that shit off. But when you get your first car, you pop that Beastie Boys tape in. Dude, it's like freedom. You know what I mean? And I was playing... What's the one from early 90s? 94. I had all these. This one, Check Your Head. That's it. That's what it was. Dude, you pop that Check Your Head tape in to a 1994 Pontiac Grand Am. That's freedom, dude. Turn that shit up. Bust the speakers immediately. You got a stupid ass Pontiac Grand Am speaker. It's 1995. Crank it all the way up. And immediately bust, dude. Remember that? The shitty ass factory speakers. Rich boy. Are you joking? You know how much? This car was like $2,000 used. It was, I'm not a rich boy. What do you thought? This was my first car in 1995 or 6, whatever it was. 95, I think. Y'all wanted to talk about cars. We're doing it. Crazy California Fishing, $5. 17 Honda Accord Hybrid XL. MPG of a Prius, but it looks and feels nice. Honda Accord Hybrid. What are you talking about? Oh, 2017 Honda Accord. Dude, I feel like I can't crank up ill communication or Check Your Head in a 2017 Honda Accord. I don't even understand that. But you know, if that's what you vibe with, that's what you vibe with, dude. That's fine. Rachel Wilson, $5. Jose felt the blade of my mod axe for saying rude things about Jamie. Well, amen to that. There you go. Trust you doing that. Bobby C, $5. You are low tier. I can't believe you're not driving a Bugatti. Bugatti. I don't even know what does that cost. Let's see what a Bugatti costs. I don't know anything about these cars, dude. I don't know. No, I don't want that. So I guess if I'm gonna be $4 million, $4 million for what? That's crazy, dude. Shit, I thought like, so is that more than a Bentley? How much is a Bentley? It's like a 500,000, isn't it? No, 200,000. 2 to 300,000. So a Bugatti costs 20 times, 10 times, 20 times the cost of a Bentley, and a Rolls Royce was $500,000. So I didn't even realize, is that like the top of the tier as a Bugatti? I didn't even know that. Interesting. See, it's not in my range, dude. Why would I know about, you know, something that's not even in my range? But I think JB Peltier is right that automotive aesthetics have been cooked. Because like the last 10 years of these cars just look ugly, dude. Brooklyn A 785, $5. I was shooting a video one time with a 3-star Michelin winning chef. The director started to tell him how to chop an onion. Expert amateurs are hilarious, dude. That's all I run into on the internet. Expert amateurs, dude, all the time, man. It's like I was trying to express when that stupid ass not so erudite debate. I'm like, don't you think that I can tell when you're just spitting out philosophy words that you have no idea what they mean? Like, it's be the same if Yngwie Malmsteen heard some 13-year-old, you know, trying to play bar chords, and then he starts telling Yngwie Malmsteen like how to do a bar chord, and Yngwie is like, "Yeah, I know how to do the chords. I can do the math matters." But I like that. Expert amateurs. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, telling people that spend their life on something how to do it when you're a noob. That's the worst thing ever, dude. And those people are everywhere on the internet. They're probably everywhere in real life too. I'm making sure I didn't miss a super chat. H. Brozzy, $5. Snagglebeast is a diorite. He's always in the chat. I was just making a joke. I thought my joke was pretty funny though, but nowhere near my level. But he's a loyal viewer. Scroll up and see the chats that we sent on CARZ. I'm getting to it. Straight white male, $5. The AI stuff is for Palantir. Oh, that's right. So the Palantir news has, in some way, I guess, made Elon mad. Is that what what the consensus is? Nick, Tesla stock had the biggest single day drop because the big beautiful bill killed the $7,000 EV tax credit. Oh, well, here's another angle to it. By the way, I did. I bought $10,000 of Tesla like 3 years ago, maybe in the midst of COVID, right? Which is not a huge purchase. But I was like, wait a minute. What am I doing? I dumped all that, and I want to say it was around, Bitcoin's around like 10 or 11,000. I think I got like one or half of a Bitcoin from dumping that Tesla stock in the middle of COOF, which was the right decision. Dang, 14% drop. Well, today might be a good day to buy the dip if you're into Tesla. What was Bitcoin in the midst of COOF? I remember in 2020, because I did another thing where I had a feeling it was going to dip before COOF. And I snagged, I think, a whole Bitcoin out of that too. Let's see. 20. Yeah, that's right. I want to say there was a period even when it was like 4,000 or 5,000 in 2020. Right? Like at the beginning, maybe? Yeah, because I remember... Yeah, so I was like, what am I doing with $10,000 of stupid ass Tesla? And I dumped all that and bought one Bitcoin right there. Let's see what we got over here. What was Tesla at back then? I feel sure that was that's a 10x from then to on one Bitcoin, right? 10,000 to 100,000. So Bitcoin and at the beginning of COOF was around 4 to 10,000. Tesla at the beginning of Koof. Ooh, well, yes, Bitcoin was still better. I mean, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good gain on Tesla too, though. So Tesla's about $50 almost, 50 to 300. That's a 6x, and Bitcoin to 100 from 10. That's a 10x. So I think Bitcoin still wins it. Although, what was the low point in 2020? I know Bitcoin hit really low at one point. Yeah, dude, right there. Look at that, 5,000, maybe even 3. I was thinking it went to 3 at one point in 2020. Maybe it's just 5. Yeah, dude, look at that. So the 2020 low for Bitcoin was 5K. And I remember there was people cheering, "Ha, Bitcoin is dead. It's done." I was like, yeah, we'll see. About to stack up, about to dump all this Tesla and get some Bitcoin, dude. So that was the right decision. A black Range Rover. Black Range Rover. I've never really liked Range Rovers. My stepdad has had Range Rovers. Ugh. See, all the new cars, they all look the same. They're all blending into the exact same stupid ass body. Good grief, look at that. That is freaking hideous, dude. How come nobody can do aesthetics? What the heck is going on? Ugh. That's ugly as hell, dude. At least that is a little better. From 2024 to 2025 was just going off the cliff, dude. I remember these, right? And my stepdad had one of those at one point. But I'm not really I don't think they look that cool. To me, they look kind of dumpy and boxy. They don't look cool. Straight white male. Do you think that you can be an idolater of knowledge? Absolutely. In fact, I've been arguing for a long time, you can have ideolatry, where your ideas are an idol. So I coined that term. I made that term up. But technically, basically, St. Gregory Palamas says the same thing. He says you can idolize an idea. My Calvinist brother said that I've been reading too many books, and so I'm an idolater for knowledge. I think that can happen, yeah. Definitely. Especially in rationalist systems, Thomists, Calvinists, and even Orthodox. Yeah, we can all fall for that. Hey, you $5. No, we already did that. Excuse me. Josiah Eliron, $10. It was just a joke, guys. Snagglebeast is not my wife. He's my best friend. He's a regular listener. He got me interested in your show, and we are getting initiated this summer. That's good. It's good, man. Y'all gotta not be so... I mean, I appreciate the super chats. Y'all gotta be a little more flexible on joking around. I get all worried. Rachel Wilson, $5. I had a guy tell me one time that I knew nothing about feminism, but he cited my own book to me on X. That's pretty awesome. Miles Bell, $5. 1999 Pontiac Firebird. I remember those. I love that car. Let's see that one. Let's see that one. We're gonna have to change. I'm gonna have to change the title. Yeah, I never liked those. That was always like some metalhead dude or a hair metal dude. When I was in high school, anybody driving this was like a hair metal dude. But I have to admit, looking back, that looks pretty damn cool right now. I actually like that now. That blue one, that's pretty sweet. I might have to concede on that one. I don't like this white one or the black one, but that blue one's pretty sweet. That's pretty awesome looking. Where are we at? Crazy California fish fishing. 2017 Honda Accord, 50 miles per gallon. Oh, you like that gas mileage. Honda Accord. Well, that's not too bad. My previous, before I got my Mercedes, I had not a Honda, a Hyundai. Hyundai. But that's not too bad. I mean, I guess if you're going to have like a mom car, that's not too bad for like a mom car. Family, if you got a family sedan, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. EA $5. 2017 Lincoln MKZ. All right, let's check that out. He says that looks like a Jaguar. Ooh, that does look pretty good. That's all right. It's too ovally. A luxury car shouldn't look like an oval, dude. I don't like that. They need to go back to boxy, dude. I'm telling you, this space age crap is fake and gay, man. Nobody, we don't want a luxury car looking like a spaceship. It's just dumb. That's kind of cool. That looks cool. The black one's all right. Straight white male, $5. Old wood paneled station wagons with the rear facing seats are the best cars ever made. We had one when I was a kid. When I was a little kid, we had one of those too. It didn't have the rear seat, but at one point when we lived in Chicago, my dad bought one of those for some reason. It had the wood side. Yes, one of these. My dad bought one of these in the mid 80s for some reason. But it was kind of an old beat up clunker. So I guess we were just broke because he just went into the military. So he was new in the Navy. And I guess that's all he could afford was something like that. But I remember riding that thing as a kid. Late 80s, early 90s Japanese car commercials are peak cinema. Now we got to watch some fun stuff like that. Ortho Debo, $5. I have to look up something like that. I don't know much about that. To look that up. Joey GK, $50. I'm about to drop 10K on Bitcoin. You never finished what wallet? Oh, my bad. I mean, the easiest, most accessible for most people is just to get a ledger, and the new one's the Flex. So you're gonna need. You're gonna need to spend $200, $250. So I would have my private keys off, cold storage. So move your when you buy it, move it off of the exchange or Swan Bitcoin. If you buy from Swan, you have to wait, I think 30 days. I don't know why they make you wait 30 days, but if you buy from Coinbase, they make you wait several. It's not as long as Swan, but they make you wait as well. So when you want to move it off, you're going to move it to your private wallet, which will be, your keys will be not Bitcoin or not Coinbase anymore. You will have your own private keys via your Ledger Flex. Now the Ledger Flex is just easy, and it's pretty sweet for as wallets go. But a lot of people, again, will be critical of Ledger because Ledger also houses all the altcoins. And if you are not a fan of altcoins, then you probably want a Blockstream Jade, which is it's just a Bitcoin wallet. And I have both. I've used both. There are pros and cons either way. But they're both basically going to work the same way, right? So if you get a Blockstream Jade, but just remember, only buy it from the site. Don't buy it from no internet idiots because they're going to scam you. Never buy a used. That'd be the dumbest thing ever, to buy a used hardware wallet. And hackers will also create fake Blockstream Jades or fake ledgers. But the good news is that you can now check for the wallet being genuine. So when you get your ledger or whatever, as you set it up, it will run a genuine check, and Blockstream does the same thing. So I've got both of these. I've used Trezor. Was not any of these will work, but I didn't like the interactive, the look and the interactive features on Trezor were just dumb. These other wallets are really good. Although I will say that I've had the least problems from Ledger, which even though they get criticism, they've been pretty easy for me. So those are the two wallets I'd recommend. I wouldn't recommend Trezor just because it kind of sucks, but that's your best bet. Brian, $5. What's your opinion on keeping Bitcoin on Robinhood? No, don't ever do that. Now, I think I bought some Bitcoin on Robinhood one time, like maybe 5 years ago. But I don't know. Like I think I ended up selling it and moving my money, my cash off of Robinhood precisely because Robinhood at that time wouldn't let you transfer your Bitcoin. I'm like, I didn't buy Bitcoin to have it sitting on Robinhood. What the heck? But do they let you transfer it off now? I don't even know. So if they let you transfer it off, yeah, because again, not your keys, not your crypto. You buy a cold storage wallet so that you have your own keys and you control you're your own bank. If you don't have a cold storage wallet, you're basically, that's the whole point of Bitcoin and crypto is to be your own bank. And why are you trusting all these third parties, right? So I would not at all leave my Bitcoin sitting on Robinhood. Now, I don't think you're going to, the next question is, hey, should I leave my Bitcoin on Coinbase? Hell no. Nothing is infallible. And even though Bitcoin is the best, you can still lose your Bitcoin. The government might one day say, we take all of your Bitcoin, Coinbase. We have appropriated it. The U.S. debts are such that in order to save the economy, we must appropriate Coinbase's crypto. It's not insane because that's what FDR did. I'm not saying that that's very likely, but it could. So, and Coinbase just had a giant social engineering hack, right? Which nobody's crypto got stolen, I don't think, but personal data got stolen from Coinbase because that's Coinbase's fault ultimately though, because Coinbase used to have really good customer service like in 2018, 19, 20. And then they started outsourcing to all of the, shall we say, foreign offshore peoples. So once all customer service became foreign Osho people, the customer service went to hell. And the scammers figured out that it would be pretty easy to socially engineer or collude with Osho people in other countries. And that's why everyone just lost their data. Not everyone, but some amount of people got their not their crypto, but their personal information stolen from Coinbase. Oh, this is saying that people did lose their money. Let's see. What? How could it ever be a scam linked to India? Please do not redeem, sir. Sir, do not redeem. Now, I've been complaining about Coinbase's Hindu-based service for a long time. And what do you know? By the way, if you are interested in getting into Bitcoin, in the show description, you will see the link to Swan Bitcoin. and you'll see my referral. Swan is not like Coinbase. There are many advantages to Swan being a Bitcoin only company, and so they've never had, as far as I'm aware, problems such as this with this kind of nonsense. And so if you are interested in getting started with Bitcoin, I would recommend a Bitcoin only company like Swan right here, and you can get started there. Very easy, very simple. But the trade-off with Coinbase is also, well, I take that back. It used to be ease and simplicity, but actually Coinbase is just becoming more and more over the years a giant nightmare. And again, like when they started out, it was pretty good. Customer service was good. Everything worked out easy, good. And then the more that they turned to the H-1B visas or whatever the hell they figured out to do, it's just got to be a nightmare for people. And now the India stuff came back to bite them in the ass, but it also shows that KYC is a giant scam too, because the government made Coinbase get all this KYC on people that they didn't used to require. And then that's what led to the data breach. Customers losing the data, which is why people are once again saying that they should scrap the KYC. But it was the government and the Federal Reserve that mandated all the KYC. But I didn't even realize it was actually 400 million. I thought it was just personal data. So I don't even understand how they got 400 million. How'd they do this? But, well, here's why you don't leave your crypto on Coinbase, for those that are asking. Look at that. There you go. My second car, Ortho Debo, was a red 5-speed 1987 Toyota Celica GTS. I bought it from a police auction for $1,600 in 2017. Oh, wow. You bought a 1987 Toyota in 2017 for $1,600? I miss its flip-up headlights. That's crazy, dude. How are you still buying 80s cars in 2017? I don't even see old cars on the road anymore. Where is this happening at? One shot, A17, $10. This is a late chat. It's funny that you mentioned your grandma's Lincoln. She had a Cadillac and a Lincoln, I'm pretty sure. My grandmother had a 1957 Continental OG cotton candy pink. Whoa. My cousins got it after she passed. It was a sick car. Yeah, that sounds awesome. A 57 Continental OG candy pink. I gotta see this. Let's see this. That's a damn sassy grandma car right there. You know that's a sassy grandma. She's driving that thing around. Let's see what that looks like. Woo! That's awesome, dude. Look at that. I forgot when I was a kid, I loved these 50s cars too. That looks really cool. Cotton candy pink. That's awesome. Shit, that's probably worth $1 million. Look at that thing. That is a cool car right there. That's awesome. You are. I will give you actually the coolest car of the night award. Your grandmother won the whole thing tonight. One shot. That one wins for sure. That's really cool. Jeep, let's see. We got another car comment. Y'all love this guy. I didn't realize cars were so popular. Hush Tones, $2. 2020 Jeep Renegade. It's charmingly ugly. It's what I drive. Ugh, sounds terrible. No offense to you, Hush Tones, but look, dude, if it's not a Mercedes or a Jaguar, like, all I hear is like boomer sedan. That's all I'm hearing. When I hear Jeep, when I hear Honda. I'm like, get out of here with this middle class boomer nonsense, dude. I can't even hear you. I can't even hear it. Ugh, dude, that's ugly. Ugly is right, bro. Ugh. It looks like a malfunctioning toy, dude. That looks terrible. I'm sorry for you. I love you though, but I'm sorry for you. $20,000, $13,000? Hell no, dude. Put that in Bitcoin. What are you talking about? Now you're gonna have to wait a while though, because your $10,000 in Bitcoin is only gonna be $100,000 in 10. They're gonna have to wait 5 years for another 10x. We usually get a 10x every 4 or 5 years. So, but it is what it is, dude. As the boomers say. But y'all ended up being generous tonight. I appreciate that. We already got almost $500 of super chats, or over 500, I think, with the Streamlabs. Let's get over here, make sure I didn't miss anything. Actually, this ended up being a roundabout good thing to happen, because tons and tons of people have actually asked, not about CARZ, but about the actual wallets to get. So that's actually good that we told people, if you buy Bitcoin on Swan, you're going to need to move it to your private wallet, your cold wallet. So you need, we need to talk about, we needed to have this discussion, even if y'all didn't want it. It needed to happen. Crazy California Fishing, $2. She says a 2005 Pontiac Aztek. Warning, eye cancer. Oh my gosh. That sounds terrible. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not even gonna look it up. When I hear Pontiac, my ears close, dude. I hear middle class, dude. I hear middle ass, bro. Those are jokes for people get. The comedians, when they get popular, right? They start dissing the middle class, and that made everybody mad. Remember when what's his name? Tom Segura and what's the fat dude that takes his shirt off? Bert Kreischer. Remember that? And then they started calling everybody pores. And like, I've been making that joke tonight, but I think everybody knows it's a joke. But I'm surprised that their audiences got so mad. Like, it sounds like a joke. I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't follow those big comedians. I don't know what they talk about other than like the same old routines. Bert Kreischer takes his shirt off and talks about the Russian mafia routine that everybody's heard a million times. Like, I don't know anything else about them, but people were saying, oh, they're mean, they're rude because they call their audience pores. And my first thought was, but were they joking? I mean, it's just, you can't even navigate when something is a cancelable offense. I mean, in the sense that your audience is going to see it as a cancelable offense. And when it's a joke, it's like nothing makes sense anymore. I don't even know. Maybe they were just being dickheads, though. And then that's why people, got mad at him or whatever. I don't know. But I think my audience, you guys, realized tonight that we're making jokes, right? Dr. Alex Stavrianokidis, $20. Towards more bomb content. Hey, listen, y'all taking me over 500 super chats tonight. That means you get more bomb content. You win. That's a win-win. That's a 360 win, as Alex says. Backwoods Traveler, $1. My daddy taught me ain't no shortcuts to getting rich, and that settles it. I will say that middle class boomer parents and dads, they failed, and they continue to fail because they don't teach their children investing. And you ain't never going to get out of the poorhouse without investing. I'll tell you that right now. There's no other way. Bayes Lit Analyzer, what's up, dog? He says for $5, would you rather have OJ's Bronco or Vanilla Ice's drop top Mustang? Pfft, dude, what do you think? I got damn Vanilla Ice hair. I went as Vanilla Ice for Halloween in 6th grade. So, of course, I'm going to choose Robert Van Winkle's drop top. Duh. Where's that bad boy at? Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at the Iceman's drop top. Look at that. Yeah, I'll take that. That's good. Roll in MI 5.0. There you go. Who wants an OJ car anyway? OJ. A Bronco? OJ pretty much ruined Broncos. You just immediately associate it with murder, even though you didn't do nothing. One Shot, again, for $10 says, I had an '08 Charger that was supercharged, orange and black. Orange and black, dude. Crazy colors. We nicknamed it Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. It put out 700 horsepower on the dyno, and I missed the tank. Y'all talking about cars that I just don't even know what that is, dude. I don't even know. An '08 Charger. I'm out of my depth here, dude. I'm out of my league. You're out of your element, Dyer. '08 Charger. Oh, a Dodge Charger. I've seen a lot of these. Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you what though. When I upgraded, I got an upgrade from a Hyundai to a Mercedes. Dude. I was like, damn, dude, you know how fast this thing goes? You punch it on a Hyundai, and it's like 1,000 little Korean men in the engine just trying, Lord, we got Hyundai. Right? You punch it on a German Mercedes E-Class, and the Aryan lightning energy is taking you to the next dimension. Meanwhile, the Korean men are over there crying. That's the difference between these two engines, dude. From a Hyundai Sonata that I had in 2018. Which actually, when I got that, I was this car looks actually pretty cool. I thought I was cool when I had this thing. I was like, that's a pretty cool car right there. Because I got it new. And then the engine in that, dude, versus the engine in a Mercedes, dude, man. This thing will like melt your face to the seat, dude. I mean, these things go fast. That's all I'm saying. Compared to that Hyundai, dude. It looks like this right here. Even though that's a 2020, that's what my car looks like right there. That thing will go. Meanwhile, the Korean boys, the little Korean boys running the hamster wheel over there crying. You got them German muscle men, the Dolph Lundgrens over there in the next dimension. Hey, y'all wanted to talk about the cars tonight. This was kind of fun. We've never talked about cars on my channel. So I love exploring new territory. This is great. In fact, I'd love to talk about other stuff a lot more. We always talk about geopolitics, which I'm fine to do. We always talk about movies, which I'm always down to talk about movies. We got to talk about music more too. We don't talk about, we did the butt rock stream. That was a blast. People thought it was hilarious. That was one of the funniest streams. We got to do that again. The butt rock stream was awesome. I had to move it though, cause it got so many copyright dings, but that was a funny stream. Even I was laughing. Straight white male, $5. Did you see enlightened centrists seething about you in his I don't know who that is. In his conversation with Andrew Wilson. Everybody always comes to ask me if I saw the person that hates me talking about me on random. No, dude, I didn't see it. Like, I don't spend any time watching any haters' streams. I know a lot of people do. There's a lot of hate watchers. I don't hate watch. Plus, I don't, even if I wanted to, I wouldn't have to, because anytime someone mentions me on some other live stream, 500 people come and tell me that they were talking shit on, and I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, the first thing to do to get me to not reply in DMs is to start telling me who's talking shit. That's the quickest way to get me to not reply to you. I'm not dissing you, straight white male, because I like you, but I mean, his name is already cringe. Enlightened centrist, dude, that's a cringe ass name already. And what does he talk about? Here's my new test. Is that him? Oh my gosh. Oh, you talking about this retard PF Young? Oh, this guy's a idiot, dude. He's the worst. Dude, he doesn't know the first thing about philosophy. He already got bodied by, didn't he already have a debate with Andrew or Kotel? No, this dude's a waste of everybody's time. That guy's a complete idiot. I asked him to debate like a year ago, and all he did was talk shit and would never actually give. It was another William Allbark situation where they won't actually say when. They just want to make a stink about debating and then not actually debate. H. Brazzi, $10. Remember that you were talking about McDonald's hash browns being expensive? Yeah, it's one of these Bitcoin dudes who has a pretty good channel, and he was the one making this comment. I'll show you what he was saying. But the Arizona Tea page just tweeted about it and pointed out that Arizona Tea is still 99 cents. That's America, baby. Well, all I'm going to say is that when it comes to anything to do with tea or any of that, let's just go back to the 90s, man. Where can I go get a Snapple? I don't want no Arizona tea. That shit always suck. But where's the Snapple at? I used to go in the gas station. There was an easily accessible Snapple. I'm just joking, though, because now Snapple would be like pure high fructose corn syrup. But I miss the idea of an easily accessible Snapple. Remember the kiwi strawberry, dude? That's what I used. In the 90s, you would pound those down. In the 90s, you driving around in a Pontiac Grand Am, blasting the Beastie Boys. You pull over, you get a kiwi strawberry Snapple. You drive 3 minutes down the road, pull into the next gas station, get another kiwi Snapple because you already pounded that one down. Kiwi strawberry Snapple, dude. That's essence of the 90s right there. Taking me back, dude. Look at that ugly ass bottle. That's what I'm talking about. Bring this back. What's this nasty plastic bottle? Look at that shit, dude. Gay as hell. Bring back classic glass bottles of a Snapple. Kiwi strawberry right there. That's what we want. Except it's going to be fake ass high fructose corn syrup, not actual tea. By the way, if you are a tea aficionado, I do like tea. I can tell y'all an elite brand that I do recommend. And this is props to my priest because he bought me this as a gift. T2. T2 is from Australia. And this is the best tea right here. See that right there? T2, that's the best tea.
Hi friends, இன்னைக்கு நம்ம வந்து T2.
Not that. These guys right here. Here we go. This is the best tea you can get right here. This is good, dude. Now, I've tried a lot of these flavors. I like the fruit ones. I don't care about this Earl Grey and all these bitter ass teas. No. Just give me the sweet one. It's good, dude. If you want a tea, this is what you want. T2. You do have to ship it. There's some of these are available on Amazon, but not all of them. Pumping pomegranate. I've drank a bunch of this. This is good. Right there. Fruitalicious. Also recommend that. So if you're a tea fan, trust me, this is good tea right there. That's what you want. And I'm not an affiliate. I don't get nothing from them except tea. Sam Decker, $10. I don't know about cars. I have a 2001 family. A 2001 family? You got a family in 2001? How much was that? It's an old British luxury interior. All the natural materials are good for your testosterone levels. Well, what's a 2001 family, dude? You didn't put what it is. Emilion, $10. Is your E-Class AMG? I don't recall off the top of my head. See, that's going to be embarrassing because like you don't even know, dude. Well, I don't even know what AMG is. What is AMG? AMG enhancements. What are the enhancements? It is not hybrid. It does have the sporty interior with all the lights and all that you can change. I think it is. It does have all the sporty options, I think. But it is not. Maybe it's not because it's not a hybrid. No, I don't think it. Is it leather? No, it's not leather. I don't know. I can't remember if it's leather. I don't think it is leather. So I think I do not have the AMG. So I didn't even know. See, I'm not like a car dude. Sam Decker, $10, and he retracted his message. I hope you didn't say anything hateful. We don't allow hate speech over here. H. Brazzi, $5. I don't know when the last time you had a Snapple would be, but they're dumpster juice now. Now, this was, yes, plastic. I probably haven't had a Snapple since probably 2002, 3. I just remember 90s Snapples. I don't even know. But I'm sure it's gross now. We didn't even get to... I keep forgetting to do the crazy reels that Tristan sends. I forget every time we do this. But hey, that's fine. Tonight was just a fun chill stream. We did at least talk about Bitcoin, the debt, and Elon and Trump. So I got some basic ideas as to what's going on. Guys, remember we do have a show sponsor, by the way, which is choq.com, CHOQ.com, the best in supplementation that you can. Look, we just want the best over here. All right, this channel is all about the best books, the best church, the best cars, the best tea, the best in supplements. Okay, the best in crypto, which is Bitcoin, the best wallet. We're all about the best over here. That's it. That's what we're about. You want to head on over here and you want to pick the male vitality right there. You want to get that male vitality stack, or you want to get the performance stack, which has the Chad mode. Everybody loves that Chad mode ad. People don't realize that the Choq actually made that. They thought that ad was funny. They think I made that ad. No, Seaton made the ad, not me. And I thought it was an awesome ad. So when I play that Choq ad with the Vagine voice from Jim Bob's channel, or with Vivek Roboswamy, that's Choq that made that ad, dog. That's them. Use the promo code JAY40 to get 40% off. That's J40. You get 40% off. Hopefully everybody will benefit from tonight's basic economics once again, to figure out how to not be poor and how to have not be a slave to the banking elite and not be a slave to some corporation making you work 60 hours a week and then you die when you're ready to retire. I'm trying to help you out so you can have your time back. See, a lot of people that are into Bitcoin point out that Bitcoin's not just about making money, number go up. It's getting your time back, dude. Getting your time back, literally. What do I mean? Well, if you think you're going to get free time to enjoy your family and friends, if you're working 60, 70 hours a week to make ends meet, and you never learned about investing, you never learned about scam fiat currency, as I didn't until I started reading books about it. My dad did not educate me on investing or money. My dad was a military dude. Didn't care about that. He knew all about cars and putting shit together, but he didn't figure out economics. Well, I decided I was going to learn economics, and it paid off. I was able to take all that geopolitical conspiracy knowledge and put it to good use money-wise. I'm not saying that's the whole goal of my whole life. I'm not saying that. But I'm trying to help y'all. H. Brazzi. Whoa. I got to be careful with this new setup here not to bump the camera. H. Brazzi says for $5, I was 2 years old in 2002. Dang, man, y'all are young. Well, I'm glad I'm still a hot, young, sexy cop. You're under arrest. You're under arrest for being wrong, dude. You're under arrest for having dumbass ideas. You're under arrest for having a stupid worldview. Not you, H. Brazzi. I'm making jokes. I can't believe y'all are this young. Ice Cube says for $1, Jay, what do you think of my rap albums? Are you East Side or West Side? Well, I have to say, I grew up in California, so I always appreciated the West Side. I always did like some of the more comedic NWA songs, which would include You, Ice Cube. Even though that can't be the real Ice Cube because he wouldn't send $1. But when I was in high school, I did like certain East Coast albums that came out, namely Mace and Notorious B.I.G. Never was a big Tupac fan. Didn't like Tupac. But I did like both East and West Coast. I was a West Coast person. I grew up in San Diego. So I got to say I appreciated both. But I do have to say that Ice Cube has one of the best rap songs of all time. Today Was a Good Day. That's one of the best rap songs ever. So I guess Ice Cube wins that contest. And even people that hate rap have to admit that Today Was a Good Day is a good song. Jordan, $2. Habibi, you missed my chat. Okay, let me scroll back. Jordan. What Bitcoin did, $2. Not your keys, not your car. Exactly. That's a great principle for Bitcoin. Not your keys, not your crypto, not your Bitcoin. Baselit Analyzer. No, we already did that. Jordan, you said I missed it. Where's it at? Let me find it. That dude's got to be joking, right? Should I leave my Bitcoin in Coinbase? That's got to be a joke. Super chat. Lightning McQueen, I missed this one. $3. Buy me. I want your piggies to touch my gas pedal. I don't. I feel like that was a flirty innuendo, but I'm having a hard time understanding what it means. And I'm hoping that Lightning McQueen is a female and not a dude. Chauncey, $5. My first car was a 1989 Chevy Cavalier convertible blaring 311. Oh, 311. Say that we will always be down. We can never go back. We can't go back to the 90s. It would be fun. I would like to go back to the 90s. There's a lot of fun things in the 90s. Jordan, I don't see your super chat. I'm sorry. Where's it at? You said I missed it, but I don't see anything else from you. Oh, wait, there it was. I'm sorry. I see it. I see it. No, I lost it again. Dang it. There it is. Jordan, $5. 1972 Celica GT, best car ever made. 1972 Celica. 70s. What the? Are you a boomer, dude? What are you doing in this audience? It's just a joke. Other promo code is JAY44LIFE to get 44% off at chalk.com. Would you say a 1972 Celica? Shit, that sounds like some kind of shit that Sammy the Bull was toting bodies around in. What are you talking about, dude? A 1972 Celica. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. A Japanese pony? That's cool. By the way, did y'all see the Sammy the Bull documentary with Sean? It was pretty good. No, that's not it. So they did was it HBO or Cinemax or Showtime? I don't remember. One of these did a Sean Atwood versus Sammy the Bull Ecstasy Ring, Sons of Ecstasy. That's it. It was a good documentary. I enjoyed it, especially if we've been on both of their shows many times, and so it was enjoyable to watch this documentary.
This is a story that we never allowed my father to tell.